This time last year, Rangers enjoyed that familiar winning feeling.
Another day of history for Glasgow Blue.
Rangers have made it back to the final again.
Oh, brilliant strike. He's powered home the header.
But this time, no surprise, it's Celtic in wait.
An exceptional goal. Terrific header. No love lost between these two clubs.
Well, let's hope we do not have too much of that today. It is the first final of the season in Scotland and the 6th Old Firm meeting of this campaign already. The two great rivals have it between them this afternoon. Live on Setanta, Ireland, the Cooperative Insurance Cup final, Celtic against Rangers from Hampden Park. And of course, the build-up has been dominated by matters strictly speaking beyond football, which must be a shame when we're at such a fascinating point in the historic sporting rivalry between these two mighty clubs. Great pleasure today to welcome two men who know what it is all about. Stuart McCall and Alan Stubbs are with us for the afternoon. Great to have your company. Stuart, to you first, and to matters on the field. Rangers, are they in that familiar place now where they know they have to lift it again? And I'm not just talking about lifting the trophy today.
Yeah, certainly so. I think if we'd have seen 3 months ago, Rangers would have been overwhelming favourites, but the tide has certainly turned. Celtic have had 3 great results in recent games, and it's interesting to see that Walter's gone with a tried and tested 4-4-2, which he uses normally in home games, but normally goes for the more cautious approach. But today I think he's got the strikers back that he wants to play.
Alan, I guess that's a compliment to Celtic that even Stuart McCall senses that maybe Rangers are on the up again. Do you share that sense of a springtime for the club at the moment?
Yeah, I think Celtic, obviously, with the results, you know, go into the game with holding all the impetus. They're going to the game where they've got that little bit of an edge over Rangers, and Rangers have got to try and change that. And the sooner they change that, I think the better for them. But Celtic will be full of confidence, feel as if they've got a grip on Rangers, and they'll be going out there full of confidence to win the game and get another result against them. I
guess all this does the team talk for Rangers today, though, does it not, Stuart?
Well, that's right. You know, I think, as I say, you know, before, you know, Rangers were looking as a stronger force. The 2-0 victory Celtic had at Ibrox, I think, 2nd of January, turned it all round, and Rangers going underdogs, and that might be just the spur they need.
What about off the field then? This extraordinary build-up to the game. The politicians have had their say aplenty in Scotland. The police. There was a summit meeting. The police also visited the two clubs' training grounds. Surely the two clubs are well aware of their responsibility without those reminders.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I mean, I was obviously in and around Glasgow at the moment now, and you know, the scenes that happen after Old Firm games are not welcomed, really. You know, and I think the responsibility of the players, the staff, a high point at the moment, and I'm sure, as you say, they haven't really needed the police going in, but it's just been a reminder they've got to behave responsibly on and off the park.
Do you sense that both clubs will have made it clear to the players? If we're going to, some say it's got little or nothing to do with the players in most instances, but do you think the clubs will have turned to their own players in the run-up to this game, Alan, and said, now remember what did happen the last time?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we all wanted to see the scenes of last time. I think it's great that the passion's there, but I think there's a mark that you just can't overstep. And I think probably from the spectator's point of view and people who love the game for what it is, it just overstepped the mark last time. I think it's important that we focus on the football, and because I think the thing with the Celtic and Rangers game is that it has a wider effect, you know, from the outside, from the fans, you know, and I think that's why the police have got involved, the politicians, because it has a bigger effect on the outer scale rather than just on the pitch.
It's such a shame that it's actually detracted from the build-up to this cup final as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure, but once the final, or the whistle goes, hopefully at the final whistle, we're talking about the great goals and the stuff on the park, and hopefully that'll be the case.
Later we'll hear from the Rangers camp, but first to Celtic and their assistant manager.
No, they're going to be fired up. It's a cup final, and they're a good side, they're a strong side. Very organised, and I think if you ask them, they know everything about us, and the same goes obviously that we know most things about Rangers, because we played each other, you know, a couple of times not long ago. So I don't think it's going to be any surprises in that case. I think both teams are going to be fired up and really eager to go, because it's a cup final and a chance to win a trophy. And a great day for not only yourself as a player, for the coaching staff. It's a great day for the supporters and the club as well. I think the good thing is, obviously, like you say, we are unbeaten in 4 against them. I think it was a big turning point the 2nd of January when we beat them, at least mentally for the players, to show that they really can, especially go over to Ibrox and win against them. But we played some good stuff. We won the games lately against them, but form always goes out of the window anyway in these games, and it's probably on the day. It's always on the day, which team is going to play as close to the best as who's going to come on top.
I think a lot of Celtic fans were apprehensive when this rookie management team was put together, but they're learning fast, aren't they?
They certainly are. I think, as Johan said there, the big result was going to Ibrox, and to give everybody, the players, the belief, and they've been on a great run since that. But they've got a strong side, strong squad, and they'll be looking today to get the first trophy.
What's your feeling about the ban on the 2 managers on the touchline today? Yesterday we were covering Manchester United. Alex Ferguson up in the stand, on the phone all afternoon to the bench. And you did sense then, Stuart, that maybe some of the players just were aware that the great man wasn't quite on the touchline.
Yeah, it can have an effect. Obviously, Alistair has made an appeal, so he'll be on the touchline today. Obviously, Neil Lennon won't be, which could have an effect. You never know, yeah.
Right, Alan, as a player, does it impact on you from the Celtic perspective then that Lennon will definitely not be there?
I think it could do. I think because Neil's so animated on the touchline at times, is that I think the players have learned to accept that now, and they've responded to that. The fact that now he's in the stand, it's a different person who will put that across differently today. And, only time will tell. I think we'll see from today's game whether it works.
How much has the team that Lennon and Mialbi have been developing, how quickly has it been coming together over the last few months?
I think it's come together really quickly. I think he's been allowed to spend, which is one thing which Rangers haven't been able to do. And I think that the players that he's brought in, they've added a bit of quality to the team. And the results have reflected that now.
I think the players, you look at Commons there, he's hit the ground running. He's come in, whether that was a cross or not, went in, but that was his start, and he scoring on his debut, and he's gone from strength to strength. But I mean, the likes of Hooper's been a terrific signing, Izagiri. You can look through it, and the people that they've brought have settled in so quick. And as I say, they're in a rich vein of form at the moment.
It is a step up for them this afternoon, though, is it not? And this stat, you pros always turn to us and say, don't worry about the stats, treat it as a day and a game ahead of you. But Celtic have not won a trophy for a year or two. That's the step they've got to make this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm sure, but as I say, we go back to the belief and the confidence. When you've got the sort of Indian sign, if you like, over a side, not been beaten by Rangers for 4 games now, psychologically that could have effect. If Celtic go 1 up, it'll be interesting to see how Rangers respond. Celtic
have shaded the recent meetings, that is true, as Stuart suggests, and that is also a factor the incoming Rangers manager is all too aware of.
From our point of view, we must, and I think we will, be a far bigger threat to Celtic than we were in the last game. We've got to be.
Celtic and Rangers at Hampden Park in the first cup final of the season in Scotland. Stuart McCall and Alan Stubbs are with us. What could be better? And Stuart's former teammate, Ali McCoist, in charge of Rangers this afternoon, and he it was who was left to speak for the holders.
I think from our point of view, we have to be more of an attacking threat. I think we were handicapped slightly the last game, with the Jelic and indeed Lafferty and boys like that missing. And they're big players for us in terms of, our attack-minded players and people that are going to score you goals, and that's certainly limited us and sort of forced our hand a little bit in terms of our selection, forced our hand a big bit in terms of our selection, and indeed it forced your hand to a certain degree in your tactics in that particular game. And from our point of view, we must, and I think we will, be a far bigger threat to Celtic than we were in the last game. We've got to be. And I just think with players in your team like Jelavic and perhaps Lafferty and whether it's Weiss, Naismith, you know, we're getting one or two boys back. Obviously Bartley's a massive blow to us, but we're getting one or two boys back as well that are key players for us.
Who'd have thought 10 years ago that Lennon and McCoist would have been the young managers in charge of the old firm, Alan? But and thinking about perhaps when Dalglish, in the Dalglish era, John Barnes was at Celtic for a period as well, and at times in your time at Celtic, one looked at the club and thought, which direction are we going in? Who is really in charge? Would some of the Rangers fans maybe saying now, which direction are we going in, with McCoist waiting to take over from Walter Smith? And there's this momentary confusion, perhaps?
I think so, because when John was there, he had Kenny in the background, and to be fair to Kenny let John just do it all. But I think with Walter and Coisty, they'll have different opinions, you know. And I know Walter's always took a back seat, and he's always done stuff from the touchline, from the stands. But I think Coisty is sometimes maybe wanting to do things himself now, and it'll feel like a long time for that end of season to come for them get taken over. The fact that, you know, Walter's trying to just see it out now.
Do you see it in that way, Stuart?
Yeah, I mean, Walter's always watched the games from up above, even when I was playing, which is a long time ago. But he's always watched it from high up and got a better view, and then went down and give his opinions. But Coisty normally takes the cup games, so he'll have had a big effect on his team selection. As you see, you've gone positive. But the bottom line is Walter will be down there if anything needs doing on the touchline.
Hate to remind you of this, but it was Rangers, of all clubs, who denied you your big day out today. You could have been here.
Yeah, it certainly was. And to be fair, we played really well on the day. But you see, Edu picks a ball up here, and I remember when he was going on to his swing on his left foot, I'm thinking, have a shot. And then I was thinking, no, don't have a shot. But great goal by Edu. We came back into the game, you know, still about 25 minutes to go, with a nice goal from himself. Laszlo just puts in the bottom corner. And at that stage, we looked like the side that was going to go on and win the game. But they've got quality in the side. That's a great ball by Davis. Jelavic, who is a top-class player, didn't do it against Celtic in the last game, but great skill there, and Naismith puts it home. So, but I think with the Rangers set up today, they've definitely gone more attack-minded and will be a threat.
Are they good at picking themselves up from this defeat?
Well, they've got to be.
Setback?
Yeah, they've got to be.
We'll cover this game Thursday night.
I mean, if you look at it from Eindhoven's point of view, it's a terrific goal. If you look at it from Rangers' point of view, with the back five, not one of them gets near any of them. And today, obviously, with Bartley being out, they've had to refer to a back four, and it'll be interesting to see how, you know, Davy Weir copes with the pace of Hooper.
I'm just interested in knowing, because it was so much better from Rangers' second half. Who made the changes at half-time?
No, I'm sure Walter made the changes at half-time. I don't think there'll be any doubt about that. Coyce's there learning, and he'll have his impact. But the bottom line is, Walter's a manager, he'll make it. Along with the team, McDonald, Kenny McDonald, and also Ian Durant. They'll all have an input, but the bottom line is the manager makes the choices. Is
it a greater plus for Rangers this afternoon that Jelavic is back?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, and obviously Naismith coming back into the side. But it's been, I mean, he scored a hat-trick against us in the league game. His movement is excellent, but I think, you know, he's played up front on his own. Today it looks like he's going to have some support, and I think that's when he'll be.
From memory, I'm not so sure whether they've played together an awful lot, Lafferty and Jelavic, as a pair.
No, not as a pair. I think every time we've gone against Celtic this season, Rangers have gone one up top. It looks like they're going to go two down the middle. Jelavic could be more dangerous doing that.
And what about the Celtic centre-back pairing against them this afternoon, Alan?
Well, I think if they have a good game, I think Celtic win the game. I think the two strikers from Rangers will cause them problems, and I think that's going to be Rangers' biggest chance of winning the game today. I think they've gone more attacking, whereas over the past few games they've been quite defensive, and that's probably been the biggest criticism of the team. But as Ali just spoke before, you know, they're starting to get more of their attacking players back now. You know, and now that looks like they've gone 4-4-2, and it makes for a real good game, to be fair.
And I think if you look at the bench, Healy, Juve and Weiss on the bench, three attacking players.
Yeah, certainly no shortage of goals from that area. If Rangers do need them this afternoon, we're about to sort it out. Kick off next. Don't think we could match this setting too easily. It is Hampden and it looks jammed to the rafters as the Old Firm are set to meet in the Cooperative Insurance Cup final. Celtic against Rangers. Ahead on Setanta Sports, West Bromwich Albion and Liverpool meeting in the Premier League when that resumes on the 2nd of April. Setanta Sports 1. Of course, we focus on Manchester United in the title chase. Fulham are at Old Trafford on the 9th of April, same channel. And West Bromwich Albion against Chelsea means a lot at both ends, of course. On the 16th of April, it's Setanta Ireland and HD that Saturday afternoon. But what about this Sunday? Alan, would you, in all fairness, say Celtic deserve to be favourites?
I'd say they'd probably just edge you, only on what they've done to Rangers over the past.
But you didn't like it when Stuart McCall said Rangers are the underdogs this afternoon. You worried you, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, because you know you can never tell with these games. You know, we've both gone into these games as favourites and been on the back of losses. You know, so it can be very much like that. I know the impetus is with Celtic because of their last couple of results against Rangers, but it's whoever deals with the situation today the best.
I was intrigued when we were talking when we met at lunchtime today, though, that you actually think that this will have a huge impact on the run in the title race as well.
I think it could do, yeah. I think if Celtic go and win it handsomely and perform strongly, then it might have a detrimental effect to Rangers. But on the other hand, I think if Rangers can bounce back, they're only 2 points behind the league with a game in hand. It's all to play for, but I'm sure if Rangers do win it, then it could be huge.
I'll install you as Rangers manager for a couple of minutes. Where are the key areas for Rangers getting at this Celtic side for you?
I think if you look back, I mean, Hooper's been in excellent form and scored against Rangers. That's when Rangers were playing 3 at back. Now, with obviously Big Davy Weir alongside Bagheera, who can go missing at times on his forward runs, Samaras and Hooper against the back two of Rangers will be key. But also going the other way, it'd be nice to see Jelavic have some support, probably in Lafferty or Naismith up top. And that's it'd be a key contest.
And what about the selection by Walter of Neil Alexander in goal ahead of McGregor today?
Yeah, well, Neil's always played in the cup games, but when I saw that he played against PSV the other night, I thought McGregor might be back for this, but he's stuck with him. Having said that, we know McGregor's an exceptional goalkeeper, but Alexander's never let Rangers down.
What likelihood that it'll go beyond the 90?
Every likelihood. I mean, we're sat here. I'd love to see a 3 each and go all the way and Rangers to win on pens.
But to echo your comments at the start of the day, Stuart, let's hope it's the football that we are talking about. I think we can all agree on that. Thank you both. Really enjoyed it. And what a pleasure to have Lou Macari on board this afternoon alongside Des Curran.
18 days on from one of the most fractious Old Firm collisions of recent times. Celtic and Rangers set to go toe-to-toe again for the first piece of Scottish silverware of the season. A fixture that has attracted even more attention than usual after events on and off the pitch in that Scottish Cup replay. We've even had members of the Strathclyde Police speaking to both sides after their respective training sessions on Friday to remind them of their responsibilities, but everyone hoping the edge is still there, that the players will take it to that edge, but not beyond. It wouldn't be the Old Firm otherwise. It's all about domestic success for these two now after Rangers bowed out of the Europa League on Thursday night. Celtic had seen their European campaign end before the end of August, but the treble is still on for them, a feat last achieved by the club in 2001. For Rangers, the double a distinct possibility, but for one trophy would be denied them today.
Well, it looks as if Rangers, Des, are going with a front two that Al McCoy certainly feels is the best front two. 2 goal scorers, he said ahead of the game, Kyle Lafferty and Jelavic. And I think a lot depends from Celtic's point of view, a lot depends on the 2 central defenders, Thomas Rodney, Charlie Mulgrew. Rodney's 20 years of age, Charlie Mulgrew a left back. If they can perform well, then I think Celtic can win the cup. But I think it's all about the central defenders, probably on both sides as well. David Weir, 40 years of age.
Well, Walter Smith, of course, leading the Rangers side out. It's Johan Malby to lead out Celtic in the absence of Neil Lennon, who will be watching this one from the stand as he serves his domestic ban. Malby enjoyed success as a Rangers or as a Celtic player. Wondering what lies ahead today. Cracking atmosphere as always whenever these two meet, whatever's at stake. And Hampden packed to the rafters once more. It's the 6th meeting of these two this season. Previous 5 have yielded 5 red cards, 35 yellow. March 2nd, where it all went off, on and off the pitch. What's in store for us today? Neil Lennon chasing his first trophy as Celtic manager. 3 changes from the midweek cup win at Inverness. Captain Scott Brown and Mark Wilson, who scored the winner in the recent cup replay win against Rangers, both returned from suspension. They replace Efren Juarez and Ki Sung-young. And at centre-half, as Lewis mentioned, Norwegian under-21 Thomas Ronja. He's got the nod over Glenn Luvens. Ronja's first start since the semi-final win against Aberdeen. And up front, Samaras and Hooper. Samaras has just signed a new deal with the club. Hooper's who had an outstanding debut campaign so far. And that means that Celtic's top scorer this season, Anthony Stokes, is again on the bench. For Walter Smith in his last cup final as Rangers boss makes 2 changes from the Eindhoven defeat. Richard Foster's cup-tied, and Smith has lost their impressive on-loan Arsenal youngster Kyle Bartley to a knee injury, picked up late in that Eindhoven game. The 2 to come in, Stephen Naismith and Nikita Jelavic, which means that Kyle Lafferty, who injured his knee against PSV, has been past fit to start. And teenager Greg Weil keeps his place, just his 3rd senior start. Neil Alexander also starts in goal, having featured in all of the last 3 previous rounds. Those are the benches. Paddy McCourt there for Celtic, and for Rangers, Vladimir Weiss, who's a late cry-off on Thursday. So the managers have made their selections. The man in the middle, Craig Thompson, who has been in charge of some controversial games already this season. The abandoned Italy-Serbia, the Ajax-Real Madrid game where Ramos and Alonso were controversially red-carded, and in January, Celtic's 2-0 win at Ibrox, 2 goals to Georgios Samaras, 1 from the penalty spot. The Rangers, the defending champions, they have a fantastic record in the League Cup, 33 finals, 26 wins. For Celtic, it's 14 victories in 27 deciders. Yet again, it's the old firm to decide the destination of the Scottish League Cup. Hooper and Samaras together, standing on the ball. Early stage is important here, and Celtic get us underway. Wilson to put this one forward early towards Samaras, headed away by the Rangers skipper Weir. Here comes Naismith straight into the challenge. Maybe some question marks around the fitness of Stephen Naismith. Returned as a half-time substitute on Thursday after his hamstring problem that ruled him out for half a dozen games. Towards Samaras again, who beats Bugera in the air, headed away by Whittaker. Weir once more to clear. Edu. Forward by Kayal. Nice little touchdown here. Samaras. Cummins down the left-hand side. Zagira. Fantastic season he's had. Held up by Whittaker. Here's Cummins. Overcooked that one, Ledley couldn't get there.
I tell you, it's going to be interesting days, the kick-off. I mean, after the kick-off, the ball was bobbling all over the place. I'm just wondering how good the pitch is or how bad the pitch is, but the initial signs there, as soon as Celtic kicked off, ball was played back. It's looking a bit bare as well. Could have a big effect on this game, state of the pitch.
Huge ball downfield from Alexander. And here's Fraser Forster. One of those red-carded when these two have met this season. That one who's conceded a penalty in the Cup 2-2. Another header for Weir. Look at the Rangers setup. They put Lafferty wide right, Naismith in behind Jelavic, Greg Wild out on the left-hand side. So just a little something from Walter Smith and Ali McCoy to get Rangers, or to get Celtic thinking.
And they've always got El Hadj Diouf on the bench as well, Des. You need to bring on somebody to make an impact. Interesting, looking at both benches. Is this the only competition that there's only 5 substitutes?
Well, we're so used to seeing 7 on the bench, but it is 5 for the Scottish League Cup as Jelavic goes rampaging down the right-hand side, wins the throw-in. Whittaker looking to put one in there, headed away by Kayal. Lovely touch. Hooper on to Samaras. Still going, Giorgio Samaras, and he's found a gap. What a run this is. Support to the right-hand side arriving now, and he almost squeezed it through to Scott Brown. It was Chris Cummins with the touch. Fantastic run from Giorgio Samaras. Hasn't been scoring too much this season. Indeed, he's only scored in 3 games. Once the brace at Rangers. He's got a hat-trick in the early stages of this competition as well. Others have been weighing in, most obviously Hooper. Naismith works it out to Lafferty. First chance to have a little run here. Very well-timed challenge, and to bring it away, it's Joe Ledley. Izaguirre. Very open start to the game. Samaras looking to take it beyond Weir. And Bugera, Alexander, thought about it, then seemed to hesitate, but they've gotten away with that, Rangers.
Well, as you'd expect in an Old Firm game, fast and furious right from the off, and both teams going at one another. Normally they take a little bit of time to settle in, a little bit cautious the approach normally, but not today, Des. Both teams having a real go.
There was a little moment just a few seconds ago where Samaras just tried to knock the ball beyond David Weir and use his pace, or maybe Weir's lack of it these days. We saw Hooper do it to him in one of the earlier meetings as well. Without Kyle Bartley, who's been such an impressive signing on loan from Arsenal, could Rangers have problems there? Here goes Papac. Oh, it's a great ball. Just didn't catch it, Jelavic. And speaking about Rangers maybe having problems at centre-half, it seemed to be Mulgrew who lost Jelavic there.
Well, it was a fantastic ball to Jelavic, and to be honest, a player of his quality, you expect him to get a nice strike at goal, put the Celtic keeper under pressure.
Well, what the Rangers centre-halves have in their advantage, you look at David Weir, it's his 42nd start of the season. Magic Bugera's 41st. As a pairing, Ronya and Mulgrew, just the 7th time they'll have started together this season.
I think all credit to David Weir. There's at his age, he's done remarkably well.
Here's Greg Wild looking to get across, and it's a fantastic ball. Ronya felt he had to deal with that. Forster was coming forward, but Greg Wild, who had such a good night on Thursday against PSV, keeps his place today. It was a terrific cross.
Oh, brilliant play from Greg Wild. Dangerous ball into the box. Keeper really didn't know where to come and pick it up. Defender closing in on him.
Samaras. And still. And he just had his heels clipped there. Free kick for Celtic and a chance to push the big man forward here now.
Well, seems to have had a new lease of life, Giorgio Samaras. Second surging run in the game. Just brought down there.
You're not going to suggest that's down to the new contract, Louis?
Well, it might have given him a bit of a lift, Des. Certainly help his bank balance.
Looking to add to his Celtic goals balance here, but can't manage that. Cleared by Lafferty. Tidied up by Cummins. Here's Izaguirre. David Weir getting to it, not the most convincing of headers though. Bugera. Won't have as much licence to get forward now as he likes to do, Bugera, with just 4 at the back. Kayal gets it back from Wilson.
Well, I think you're spot on there, Des. Bugera's instructions today will be to stay there alongside David Weir, give him a little bit of protection that he needs. You know, in recent weeks and months they've had Kyle Bartley in there as a back three, and that's certainly given David that protection that he obviously needs.
Squeezed down the line by Izaguirre. And neatly tidied up by Bugera. A little bit off the ball there between Jelavic and Ronya. Spotted by the referee. Rangers free kick.
Well, I think normally in Old Firm games by nowadays we've had a dozen fouls. This one's got off to quite a good start from that point of view.
And Jelavic, who did well against Celtic in the Europa League last season when he was at Rapid Vienna, 3 goals over the 2 meetings. Lafferty's knocked down, away by half a clearance by Mulgrew, and he fired it goalwards again. Lafferty will get a corner.
Once again, Kyle Lafferty in the thick of the action, wins the header, gets the rebound. May have been different if it had been on his right foot.
Clever free kick as he just pulled out onto Izaguirre. Always favoured to win the header. And Naismith right in there on top of Fraser Forster. It's a very deep corner. Samaras underneath it. Back into the mix again, and Edu just eased out of it. Clever piece of defending by Kayal. Well, Ali McCoy's promised there'd be a bit more devil about Rangers going forward today.
Well, I think the signs are there already to back that up. Kyle Lafferty in the thick of the action. Jelavic has missed a half chance inside the box.
These two met in the final 2 years ago when it needed extra time. Goals from Darren O'Dean and Aidan McGeady penalty to win it for Celtic. Naismith just couldn't get there ahead of Runya. Here's Edu. Papac onto Wild. Already one great cross. Wilson getting close and getting there quickly this time. Papac allowed to swing one in. Runya to clear again. Bugera. Whittaker needs no second invitation to get forward. Booming cross. Kept in play by Jelavic, but not a lot he could do with it.
Oh, I think the pitch played a little part there. Just as Whittaker was about to cross that, the ball bobbled up. And as a result, big high cross into the box.
And he's had his injury problems this season, Nikita Jelavic. Just his 15th appearance, but he's got 10 goals. Along with Stephen Naismith, the leading Rangers scorer this season. Of those still at the club, Kenny Miller, of course, had managed 22 goals in 25 appearances prior to moving on. No Chris Boyd either. So the onus on Jelavic and Lafferty. And of course they have the wild card, and maybe it's the most appropriate choice of phrase in El Hadj Diouf on the bench, Luke.
Cause around an empty house, Des, couldn't he? Nah, he's a good player on his day when he concentrates on playing the game, but I think just recently, especially since he's joined Rangers, seems to be getting involved in everything else except the game.
And given what went on in his sending off post-match and what went on in a previous game as well, the altercation with Scott Brown in the cup draw, was it the right choice, do you think, from Walter Smith and Ali McCoy to leave him on the bench?
Oh, I think it was a good decision. And towards the end of the game, if you remember, Des went to the Rangers crowd behind the goals to give his shot away, and that was just causing more problems. So he's on the bench, and if he does come on, we certainly hope we just see him playing the football we know he can play.
Samaras going about it in that lazy way of his. Shifted on by Ledley. He's played in an FA Cup final in his Cardiff days, along with Glenn Louvens, who's on the bench for Celtic today. Lost out in 08 to Portsmouth. Scott Brown turning it on early, and Wilson's got there. It's banging form at the moment, Mark Wilson. And he's got his cross in, just too high for Samaras.
Well, you're right, there's a player banging form, Mark Wilson. Recent weeks, the cross would have probably been a little bit better than this one. One target in the box, George Samaras. Two Rangers players marking him.
It's taken Wilson so long to get an extended run due to these injuries that he's had since he's joined. Took him a while to score his first goal as well, but scored the Cup replay winner against Rangers, one of 3 in the last 7 games for the Celtic right back. Here's Scott Brown again. Wouldn't imagine he likes playing wide right. He's got the tendency already, as we've seen, to drift inside. Izaguirre. And now Kayal. Wilson again, and Brown. The Rangers have it back, Jelavic. It was clever. Ran across Joe Ledley, knew there would be contact, knew he'd get the free kick.
Well, this is just two players colliding. Joe Ledley going across Jelavic. Just hope the referee's not going to bring out a yellow card. No, he hasn't.
Some organising for Celtic to do here. Stephen Davis, who we've hardly mentioned yet, standing over it, gives an angle to Papac. Trying to slip it into Jelavic. It's broken down, and Celtic will look to counter here now. Kayal helping it on. Now Scott Brown. Izagirre. Samaras. Judged that well, and a chance now for Cummins. It's going to be a good duel that against Stephen Whittaker.
Well, there's lots of good duels all over the pitch as well. Morris Edu in that midfield. We've got Scott Brown in that area.
First little flashpoint there as Whittaker and Izagirre tangled. So far everyone on their best behaviour. Great trick from Cummins, well read by Bugera.
Wouldn't it be great, Des, to get through the whole 90 minutes with no yellow cards? It's not possible, is it?
I think you get good odds on that, Lou. And Chris Cummins, as winter window signings go, haven't been much better. 5 goals, including on his debut in the semi-final against Aberdeen, plus a couple against Rangers. Naismith retreating from an offside position. Celtic free kick here.
Chris Cummins and Gary Hooper in particular, there have been 2 good signings from Neil Lennon. He's taken a chance, brought them up north, and well, they both scored goals and both played very well.
To the extent, of course, that Hooper has just been called into the England under-21 squad for their upcoming games against Denmark and Iceland. 15 goals for Gary Hooper this season. It's to his strike partner here, Samaras. And now contact Bugera, and contact again, and referee says no. 2 Celtic appeals there. Both turned away by Craig Thompson. Quickly to the other end, and Rangers. O'Ronya, not a great clearance. Naismith couldn't take advantage, and it's Scott Brown to hammer it away. First big decision there for the referee. Lafferty shown on the inside.
Well, such an awkward decision as well for the referee. Ball into the box. Celtic player goes down. I think it's a correct decision, though. But if it is a correct decision, Des, he should have got a yellow card.
Well, you can take him out of the technical area. You won't take the passion out of Neil Lennon. And those sitting around him today will know all about it. Here's Greg Weil, left-footed. Should be the goalkeepers. It's a good claim from Forster.
Well, I'd just like to see that penalty incident once again. Just happened so quick. Mark Wilson surging into the box, but like the referee, first impression from me, no penalty.
I think it was Sasa Papac who was the man closest to him. Jelavic down again, in a tangle with Ronya again. The referee wants a word here.
Well, just showing his inexperience there. It's an area of the pitch that doesn't really matter, and there's no point in giving away clumsy fouls. Next time the referee does speak to him, it's yellow card, I'm afraid.
Maybe a little too eager to make an impression, Ronya. Papac surveying his options. Towards Lafferty again. Jelavic, good hold of play, Lafferty. Jelavic still in there, Celtic struggling to clear here. A lovely spin from Samaras, and he's away. Edu making up the ground. Samaras, early ball for Izagirre. Hooper through the middle, Samaras far post, Izagirre goes on. And Davis kept his head.
Well, talk about keeping your head, Des. That could be the outcome of the game. Which team keeps their head the most? Not give away silly free kicks as Ronya's just done, and not get involved with the referee. Sometimes these games are not just won by ability and a moment of magic from a player. Sometimes it's all about keeping your head, keeping your discipline. I've got to say,
Oh, he got away with that one, Papac, I think. Was there contact?
I think from the referee's angle, Des, it probably didn't look as if there was much contact.
Here's Wild again, who's made a promising start, but he's been robbed by Wilson. Hooper has found a yard. Good challenge from Bugera. Davis. Robbed by the backtracking Ledley. Scott Brown. Flips one into the corner, Edu. Read that, got across, Rangers throw it.
Hard working midfield player, Maurice Edu. All over the place in the early stages of the game.
Won a couple of League Cups as a Celtic player. Not as many as Ali McCoist, of course, who's got 9 to his name. Samaras. Here's Ledley. Here's Zaguirre. Now to the left-hand side, and Commons. Ledley has gone on again. Cuts back onto his right foot, would prefer it on his left here, Ledley. Lafferty realised that. He's Zaguirre, terrific cross. Super defensive header, that. David Weir showing all his experience. Jelavic looks for the pace of Wild. There's a lot of ground to make up, but he's getting there. Wilson stands off, still with Greg Wild. Excellent challenge from Wilson in the end. Here's Wild against Scott Brown. Kyle in there as well. Papac taking the opportunity to slow it down. Hooper. Now Commons. Samaras. Just look the role, the challenge of Edu. I don't think the pitch did him any favours there. Kayal. So neat and tidy in there. Still just 22. And he's pushed on here. Yet to score for Celtic. He's hunting a goal here. Still in there, Biram Kayal.
Well, it's been a good start to an Old Firm game. Both teams going at one another.
Commons has bought a yard and found a cross. Oh, and headed just wide. He hurled himself at that, Scott Brown. And he wasn't too far away.
He's so unlucky, Scott Brown. Wonderful cross from Chris Commons into that back post, and there's Scott Brown, diving header. Oh, how unlucky is that? Just past the post. I think if the left boot of Papac hadn't been there, that may have found the back of the net. Just enough to put Scott Brown off.
Davis cleverly finding space on the left-hand side for Papac. Approaching the midway point of a fairly frenetic first half. Swung in by Papac. Here's Jelavic, back to goal. Davis. That's for Lafferty in the air once more. Zaguirre's going to see plenty of that today. Samaras holding his face after a tangle with Bugera.
Just caught him in the face there, Bugera, certainly unintentional. And just slap with the left hand into the face of Giorgio Samaras.
Celtic on a run of just one defeat in their last 21 games, that at Motherwell. I think, if I'm right, it was John Sutton who did the damage. He's got a brother, of course, with a Celtic past. Mulgrew under that. Davis, chance to get forward and maybe get his shot away. Oh, and Forster, it's in! Well, there wasn't much venom in the shot, but it's in from Stephen Davis, and that's all that matters. Forster plunged to his left, couldn't keep it out. Off the post and in, and Rangers in front.
Well, that is a surprise. Couldn't see the shot ending up in the back of the Celtic net. Like you, Des, thought there was no power behind Davis' shot. With his left foot, seemed to trickle goalwards. Oh, Fraser Forster, could he have done better? A little bit too far out for me, 6-yard line. But it's in the back of the net, and Rangers are in front.
Well, they hadn't scored in the last two meetings of the sides this season. But Stephen Davis, with just his third of the campaign, has put that to rights now. Allowed to run, allowed to get his shot away. And he somehow squeezed it in by the post.
Well, I've got to say, when he did start to run and he did make the ground up that he did, I still thought there was very little danger, and after he struck the shot, couldn't see it beating the goalkeeper, but it has done.
First blood then to Rangers. Foul by the goal scorer. Kayal looking to get on with this quickly. Hooper showing for it. Brown getting ahead of the ball. Samaras wide right, and it's out to Samaras. 3 in the penalty area here. Samaras looking to set up Wilson on the end line. Can he get there? He can. Stands up his cross. A great delivery. And it's hacked away by Kyle Lafferty back in his own 6-yard box. Almost an instant response.
It was just a little bit unfortunate, Gary Hooper. The ball just didn't drop that kindly for him. Back to goal. Tries to control the ball. Miscontrols it. Chance gone.
Chris Commons. Samaras looking to get turned. Scott Brown deflected. And Alexander happy to fall on that one.
Oh, it was nearly another poorly struck shot that found the back of the net, this time from Scott Brown. It's deflected goalwards and Rangers keeper drops in it. But how did that shot from Stephen Davis find the back of the net? There's a look, no problem for the Celtic defence, certainly no problem for the Celtic goalkeeper.
Problem here for Mulgrew is he's pressurised by Naismith. Zagere almost taking out the assistant referee.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Rangers, especially the front two, Lafferty and Jelavic, have caused Celtic more problems in the opening 26 minutes of this game than the strike force that played against them in the last Old Firm game did in 90 minutes. It's been a good move for Rangers, smart move from Ali McCoy, Walter Smith, or whoever you want to credit with that. There's the shot, bobbles along the ground. Oh, it looks as if there's no chance of beating the goalkeeper, but it does.
Might have seen Paddy McCourt and Anthony Stokes watching that one on from behind the goal. And the longer it goes, if Celtic don't find a route back into it, maybe their talents will be required. Stokes, the leading goal scorer for Celtic this season. McCourt always capable of a bit of magic. Tight on this near touchline. Tidied up by Commons, Izagirre. And he'll take it back from Mulgrew. Kayal. Don't think he's wasted a pass today. Here's Brown. Izagirre. Looking to swing in an early cross, and Samaras will attack it. That's a good piece of defending by Papac. difficult, knew it was coming, knew Samaras was coming as well. Picked up by Kayal. Whips one in. Hooper couldn't control it, and it's Papac away. Good contest though so far.
I think, Des, if you'd only watched the last Old Firm game, you hadn't seen any others before that, you were asked to form an opinion before the game about the outcome of this, you'd have said Celtic, because they were miles in front in the last game. But it's completely different today. Rangers have started exceptionally well, they've had a real go right from the off, and in fairness to them, they did look the most likely to get the opening goal, but when Celtic looked back at the opening goal, they'd be just wondering how that beat the goalkeeper and finished in the back of the net.
Playing like a side, Rangers, who've been stung by recent criticism, and particularly what went on in that cup replay. Neil Lennon's side with work to do. Here's Eddie. Did well to hold off Brown. Great touch from Naismith, and here goes Lafferty. Gets his head up, gets his cross in, dealt with by Mulgrew. Whittaker's touch heavy. Samaras. Looking for the early release for Hooper, who had something else in mind.
I think that's the great thing about cup finals, north or south of the border. No matter what the form book shows you, you can throw that away. It's on the day, it's what team performs the best. A little bit of luck if it goes your way. All those things count in any cup final.
The Rangers left it late last season when winning it. Kenny Miller 3 minutes from time against St Mirren as Rangers ended that game with 9 men. They've got an earlier goal here. I think it'll be a case of setting out to protect a one-goal lead now, particularly with the setup they've got. Plenty of attacking players on the Rangers side. Here comes Celtic to test them defensively again. Is Aguirre. Lafferty asked him to make his move, then made the challenge. Commons. Is Aguirre again, another defensive shift here for Lafferty, gets something on the cross. Samaras with the touch on, and it's 1-1. His scoring streak continues for Joe Ledley. A lead that lasted just 7 minutes for Rangers.
Oh, it's a lovely glancing header from Joe Ledley at the back post. Lovely flick on from Giorgio Samaras, and then Ledley with a lovely flick header right into the corner. No chance whatsoever for Neil Alexander. Celtic back level.
And what a week for Joe Ledley. Both goals at Inverness in the Scottish Cup on Wednesday. That doubled his tally for the season, and he's added to it here. Quick response from Celtic. Timed that run so well. It's a lovely flick from Samaras on a deflected cross. No chance for Alexander from that range.
Well, it may look easy to a lot of people, but it's a lovely header. Knew he had to glance it off his forehead to guide it towards the corner. Brilliant goal from Joe Ledley.
Well, that might have Neil Lennon sitting a little more comfortably again now. Deep cross towards Lafferty, won the header. And it's Ledley away, Adu to put it back in the mix. Big header from Mulgrew. Wild, just lost his bearings. Now Papac. Wild again. Davis. Weir, percentage ball in behind, and it's worked out well for Jelavic. Taking on Ronya here. Oh, he's gone down, and it's a penalty. Yellow card as well by the looks of it for Ronya.
Oh, this is going to be interesting to see this one again. Is it the experience of Jelavic gets the better of the inexperience of Ronya? What is he given? What is the decision? Celtic and Rangers players crowding around the referee.
Well, is it a question of the Rangers players asking for something more than a yellow card here? How much contact from Ronya?
Oh, we'll see here, Des. Oh, very little, I've got to say, very little. But if you make any contact at all, players nowadays, they're going to go down, take advantage of it. Down he goes, referee, no hesitation, pointing to the spot. Is it the case of the Rangers players want him sent off? What's happening?
A yellow for Jelavic by the looks of it.
Well, certainly pointed to the spot, Des. Did you not think he pointed to the spot for a penalty?
Absolutely.
Who's he booked? Jelavic or Ronya? Unbelievable.
Here's Wild. Going on the outside. Great cross again, a little bit too close to the goalkeeper.
Well,
certainly pointed to the spot, Craig Thompson. Now, was it the assistant referee who overruled him? On first glance, and we saw it in real time, it looked a penalty to me. There was a little bit of contact from Ronya on the replay as well, just caught the kneecap, it seemed, of Jelavic, who'll be feeling very hard done by at the moment. I think had it been in the opposition penalty area, Neil Lennon would have been saying penalty. But there was always going to be some big decisions for the referee. That looks a bit of a bizarre one. Here goes Samaras. Not what Cummins was looking for.
Well, I've got to say, Des, first time I saw it, I thought penalty. Second time I saw it, I thought, no penalty. So it just shows you how difficult it is for referees. But I'm sure the referee pointed to the spot.
Well, this may be the view that the referee had. Well, there you go. He says penalty. Celtic protest. There must have been word in from the assistant referee. It's the only thing I can think of. It's a big let-off for Ronya. And that's needless from Izaguirre.
Well, let's hope it doesn't boil over now. First 35 minutes have been highly entertaining. 2 goals, plenty of attacking football. Yeah, 1 or 2 fouls, but nothing that the referee really's got to worry about. But that's a massive decision from the ref.
Naismith again taking up station right in front of Fraser Forster as Wild whips it in towards the near post. Celtic can deal with that. As Ledley stooping to clear. Cummins very deep. He's played Izaguirre into trouble here. Honduran looking for a way out. Struggling to find one. Hooper back into his own penalty area. Here comes Brown against Papac. Kept his eye on it. Cleverly done by Bugera. First chance to see him as a winger. 4 in here for Rangers, and that's a good claim from the goalkeeper.
Well, that's good goalkeeping from Fraser Forster. Had to come a long way.
Well, it's exactly as we hoped for. There's no let-up in the action here. And more controversy in an Old Firm game. Wilson leaves it to Kyle and gets it back again. Izaguirre spots a little gap and he's gone on here. Hooper looked for the little flick. Brown cleverly wide to Samaras, who hasn't managed to keep it in play.
Well, the boys in the studio have the whole of half-time to look over that instant again, Desmond. Was the referee signalling for a goal kick? Was that possibly where his hand went? But it certainly looks as if he's pointing to the spot.
Well, not the big talking point so far. Samaras had the strength to hold off Edu. Izaguirre. Now Cummins. Allowed to drift inside, and he's going to have a go here.
Well, if it was one of the referee's assistants, Des, that made the decision, how could he? The referee was in the best possible position. He was in a better position than certainly any of his assistants.
Oh, cleverly done. Cummins away from Whittaker. Little pull back for Hooper. And men on the right-hand side, Brown inside to Samaras. Wilson is pushed on. Samaras spotted a gap. Quickly filled, good challenge that. David Weir once more, now Whittaker. Launch one forward, good ball for Jelavic, who took it brilliantly. Scott Brown trying to make a challenge. Davis, Mulgrew stands off. And it was the right decision in the end. Here's Naismith. Davis again, chance to measure this one. Look at Izagirre. Whittaker in, another cross for Ronya to deal with. Now Greg Wild. Whipped in, dangerous ball, and what an intervention that was. Superb from Ronya. Naismith was looking at right into the whites of the eyes of Fraser Forster there, had that found its way through.
That's brilliant defender from Thomas Ronya. Under pressure, clears the danger.
Interesting, isn't it, that Glenn Louvens, after being bombed out of the side in September, only came back in on Wednesday night. He ended up giving away a penalty at Inverness. Ronya looked like he'd done the same here after getting the nod ahead of Louvens today. Only for an about turn from the match officials. Samaras, nice little setup in Hooper. Can Alexander prevent the corner? He can. First sight on goal really for Gary Hooper.
I was just about to say that, Des. He hasn't been in the game a great deal, but give him half a chance and a bit closer to goal. He's been finding the back of the net regular for Celtic.
Nice little setup between Celtic's front two. Lafferty. Jelavic looking to put Naismith in behind. Now Bugera should have that under control. Back to Alexander. Now Whittaker. To go to half-time. Celtic won, Rangers won. 7 minutes between the goals. Stephen Davis putting Rangers in front. Joe Ledley with the equaliser. All eyes on Craig Thompson though. Stood up by Mulgrew. Here's Samaras. Easy out in the air to Weir. Naismith. Jelavic is down. Fouled this time by Mark Wilson.
Well, there's been a few fouls in the first half, but nothing that serious, and I think we can say it's been a lot better than the last encounter at Celtic Park in terms of the way the first 45 minutes has gone.
Papac. Ooh, it was a good chance for Bugera. Found that gap between defenders.
Well, there's 4 Celtic defenders in there, and only Bugera climbs above them all.
Very entertaining player to watch, Magic Bugera. Centre half, sometimes a name only. Up in the air from Brown. Weir against Samaras again. The first time today he's fancied an effort from distance, Samaras. He's not been close on either occasion though.
He's never been a prolific goal scorer, Des. His contribution to the team's good, but in terms of finding back at the back of the net, I'm going to leave that to Gary Hooper and Chris Commons.
Samaras. Hooper down the left-hand side, Scott Brown pushing forward on the right. Rangers getting 2 men around Samaras though. Edu and Davis. Alexander. Again, it's the obvious target. The big men pulling out to the right-hand side. Jelavic and Lafferty. Bugera. Skims off the toe of Ledley. And Ronya gives it to Wilson. Looks for something direct for Samaras. Weir underneath. And for a 40-year-old, he's played an astonishing amount of games over the last 3 seasons. Played in 61 of their 68 in the season that they got to the UEFA Cup final. 47 appearances, 08-09, 52 last season. And this is 42nd of this campaign. And it's only recently, when Kyle Barkley has arrived, that the manager has been substituting him in games.
Well, you watch him today, Des, and you would never believe that he's 40 years of age.
And 41 not too far away. Hooked on by Naismith. He's been pretty quiet in that position of his so far. Bugera and Davis getting very close together. Now Papac. Again, it's hoisted up in the air towards Lafferty. Izagirre had a look to see where he was. Difficult position for Izagirre. He knows he won't win many of those headers.
And that's why Rangers keep plonking the ball on his head, hoping that Lafferty beats him in the air.
Well, Lafferty, to his credit, hasn't neglected his defensive shift either. He's been up and down that right side. Down to the ball and kind for Jelavic, well judged by Ronya. Final seconds of this first half. If it is to be 1-1 at the break, Lou, is that these sides on terms a fair reflection, do you think?
I think it's the correct scoreline for the first 45 minutes, Des. It's been a good game end to end.
Oh, here's Lafferty again. And Jelavic just wanted it nodded back across goal.
Well, I think when you've got a chance at the back post and you're so close to goal, as he's 6 yards out, I think you've got to go for goal.
Well, there's the half-time whistle, a goal apiece. Stephen Davis and Joe Ledley. But a big decision from Craig Thompson, or maybe 2 big decisions in the one incident. Stuart and Alan will have their say in studio as we leave you with a half-time scoreline of Celtic 1, Rangers 1.
Well, we're reviewing the best of what's been an excellent first half, both with reasons to be happy, but the fact that we saw the Rangers players continuing the debate with Craig Thompson tells us something. We'll continue it with Alan and Stuart when we come back. Liverpool have won 2-0 in the Premier League this afternoon at Sunderland. Their next league game is at West Bromwich Albion, and it's exclusively live on Setanta Sports 1 on the afternoon of Saturday the 2nd of April after the international break. After that, we head back to Old Trafford. We were there yesterday to see United fight their way to victory. Fulham visit on the 9th of April, Setanta Sports 1, and on Setanta Ireland and HD on the 16th of April, it's West Bromwich Albion against Chelsea in the Premier League. And 1-1 at Hampden at half-time. Stuart McCall and Alan Stubbs are with us. It's been fantastic watching so far, hasn't it? Both sides appear to be playing somewhere near their best. Stuart?
Yeah, definitely. I think from a Rangers perspective, they'll be delighted with the performance after the last few they've given. A lot of talking points, and 1-1 probably a fair result at this moment.
You take us into the first goal then.
Yeah, I think at least when Rangers, go forward with this, they've got 2 forwards. Naismith's up against there, and then Davis takes the ball. I think when he strikes it, we all think, well, that's not going to beat the keeper, especially Foster, who's, 6'5", 6'6". But I think the presence of Naismith up against Mulgrew, which the Rangers don't normally have. Having said that, in the keeper's defence, it couldn't be further in the corner. Obviously, it hits the inside of the post. And, I think little Davis started the game well. It's a good driving run. Not a great deal of power, but accuracy couldn't be more pinpoint.
Would you want, from a Celtic point of view, to see Foster getting there?
When I first seen it, I thought maybe the keeper But when you see it now, as Stuart just said, it couldn't have gone in the corner anymore. I would have been more disappointed probably with Joe Ledley's decision not to clear it better.
Well, Howie made recompense here. 1-1.
Well, we'd seen Izagirre do this before, and he's caught Lafferty there. He's got the ball in a slight deflection, and if anything, I just thought that Whittaker was probably too far out. Ledley runs off Naismith's back.
I think for attacking midfield, it's a great goal from their point of view. But if you're the Rangers looking defensively, the cross is coming too easy. Izagirre is always going to go on his left foot, and Lafferty's giving too much room. Having said that, it's deflected, looped. Samaras has got a touch, and keeper's no chance.
We're even level on penalty claims. So to Celtic's first, for you, Alan. And is it as much the fellas off the ball that we should pay attention to here?
Yeah, it's Wilson's run inside, and I think Papic, if any, maybe just slightly just catches his leg, and that's why he goes down. You know, from a Celtic point of view, I think maybe it's more of a penalty than the next one.
I think it just shows you what a difficult decision. We're looking at it 3 or 4 times and we can't still tell. I think if you look at the kid's reaction, I don't think he jumps up and claims a penalty. So I think he possibly got it right, the referee.
Penalty claims and refereeing decisions thereof have dogged the old firm both ways this season. And in some ways, this might be as controversial as we could wish to see, Stuart.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Jelavic gets it in that position, you think danger. And to be fair, the referee gives it, he's straight on the spot and he gives it. But I think he holds his hands up inside 2 or 3 seconds. There's nobody else has given him a shout there. It's happened so quickly. From that angle, at first I thought it was a penalty kick. Then I saw it again, I thought no. But then I say, if you see it, I think he just touches his left knee. Now, whether it's enough to go down, but I think, the referee, without doubt, points straight to the spot here. You'll see, give it, and then he realises the Celtic lads remonstrate, and he holds his hands up and says, listen, I've got it wrong. And, if he's got it right, fair play to the referee.
Thank you both. What a start we've had to this. All square and all still to be sorted out. This time last year, Rangers enjoyed that familiar winning feeling.
Another day of history for Glasgow Blue.
Rangers have made it back to the final again.
Oh, brilliant strike. He's powered home the header.
But this time, no surprise, it's Celtic in wait.
An exceptional goal. Terrific header. No love lost between these two clubs.
Well, let's hope we do not have too much of that today. It is the first final of the season in Scotland and the 6th Old Firm meeting of this campaign already. The two great rivals have it between them this afternoon. Live on Setanta, Ireland, the Cooperative Insurance Cup final. Celtic against Rangers from Hampden Park. Liverpool have won 2-0 in the Premier League this afternoon at Sunderland. Their next league game is at West Bromwich Albion and it's exclusively live on Setanta Sports 1 on the afternoon of Saturday the 2nd of April after the international break. After that we head back to Old Trafford. We were there yesterday to see United fight their way to victory. Fulham visit on the 9th of April, Setanta Sports 1, and on Setanta Ireland and HD on the 16th of April, it's West Bromwich Albion against Chelsea in the Premier League. And 1-1 at Hampden at half-time. Stuart McCall and Alan Stubbs are with us. It's been fantastic watching so far, hasn't it? Both sides appear to be playing somewhere near their best. Stuart?
Yeah, definitely. I think from a Rangers perspective, they'll be delighted with the performance after the last few they've given. A lot of talking points, and 1-1 probably a fair result at this moment.
You take us into the first goal then.
Yeah, I think at least when Rangers, go forward with this, they've got 2 forwards. Naismith's up against there, and then Davis takes the ball. I think when he strikes it, we all think, well, that's not going to beat the keeper, especially Foster, who's, 6'5", 6'6". But I think the presence of Naismith up against Mulgrew, which the Rangers don't normally have. Having said that, in the keeper's defence, it couldn't be further in the corner. Obviously, it hits the inside of the post. And, I think Little Davis started the game well. It's a good driving run. Not a great deal of power, but accuracy couldn't be more pinpoint.
Would you want, from a Celtic point of view, to see Foster getting there?
When I first seen it, I thought maybe the keeper. But when you see it now, as Stuart just said, it couldn't have gone in the corner anymore. I would have been more disappointed probably with Joe Ledley's decision not to clear it better.
Well, Howie made recompense here. 1-1.
Well, we'd seen Izagiri do this before, and he's caught Lafferty there. He's got the ball in, slight deflection, and if anything, I just thought that Whittaker was probably too far out. Ledley runs off Naismith's back.
I think for an attacking midfield, it's a great goal from their point of view. But if you're the Rangers looking defensively, the cross is coming too easy. Izagiri is always going to go on his left foot, and Lafferty's giving too much room. Having said that, it's deflected, looped. Samaras has got a touch, and keeper's no chance.
We're even level on penalty claims. So to Celtic's first, for you, Alan. And is it as much the fellas off the ball that we should pay attention to here? Yeah,
it's Wilson's run inside, and I think Papic, if any, maybe just slightly just catches his leg, and that's why he goes down. From a Celtic point of view, I think maybe it's more of a penalty than the next one.
I think it just shows you what a difficult decision. We're looking at 3 or 4 times and we can't still tell. I think if you look at the kid's reaction, I don't think he jumps up and claims a penalty. So I think he possibly got it right, the referee.
Penalty claims and refereeing decisions thereof have dogged the old firm both ways this season. And in some ways, this might be as controversial as we could wish to see, Stuart.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Jelavic gets it in that position, you think danger. And to be fair, the referee gives it, he's straight on the spot and he gives it. But I think he holds his hands up inside 2 or 3 seconds. There's nobody else has given him a shout there. It's happened so quickly. From that angle, at first I thought it was a penalty kick. Then I saw it again, I thought no. But then I say, if you see, I think he just touches his left knee. Now, whether it's enough to go down, but I think, the referee, without doubt, points straight to the spot here. You'll see, give it, and then he realises the Celtic lads remonstrate, and he holds his hands up and says, listen, I've got it wrong. And if he's got it right, fair play to the referee.
Thank you both. What a start we've had to this. All square and all still to be sorted out. It is never easy, is it? But Craig Thompson had a very big decision to make late on in that first half. Actually, he made 2 decisions. Penalty. No. Got it wrong. I accept I got it wrong. Free kick to the defending side. And Stuart, very smart. You did spot this, actually, that maybe he's getting a bit too close to it.
Yeah. Celtic take a quick kick there. Free kick and catch Rangers on the counter. I'll tell you, if this had ended up in a goal, I'm
we wouldn't be laughing about it, no, indeed so.
Sure there'd be ructions, because normally the officials don't get involved in anything. I think the ref just wanted the flow of the game to go, but you don't often see him knocking the ball back.
He may well say, that is how he's trying to deal with the occasion, help the 2 teams to play, and given the backdrop to it, maybe that has all been a good thing. But would you be happy with a referee who's prepared to say to the players in the middle of it, and I've made a ricket?
Yeah, I think as players in the middle there now, they would have been totally at ease with what he's done. He's made a mistake and he's had the courage to hold his hands up and say, listen, got it wrong.
Back to Lou and Des.
Thank you, Paul. 45 minutes or maybe even more to decide the destination of the Scottish League Cup final this season. And what a first half we had. It certainly wasn't dull, was it? 1 goal apiece. One big decision from the referee that seemed firstly to go Rangers' way and then Celtic's. Craig Thompson, I'm sure, Lou, would have woken up this morning after all that's gone on in the last month surrounding the old firm and said, OK, we'll get through this game, we'll all shake hands at the end of it, no controversy, no big decisions. Didn't even last through the first half.
And all the controversy over referees as well, Des, up in Scotland. I think it's not so long ago they went on strike, and wouldn't it be nice after this game if Craig Thompson actually come out and explained to everyone on television why the change. I still can't figure out why he changed his mind. He doesn't have a chance of a replay. He can't even look up at a big screen, but he changed his mind.
Here goes Greg Wild. Great cross, and it might yet break here for Naismith. Couldn't quite get there. Well, he's looked a threat down the left-hand side as Whittaker fires one in and Forster saves. What a start to the second half from Rangers.
Yeah, it's a good shot from Stephen Whittaker. Equally good save from the Celtic goalkeeper.
And could Lafferty have done better on that cross from Wild? Seemed to get there.
It's a good save from the keeper. All right, there's a great chance it was for Kyle Lafferty.
It's Wild on the corner into a very congested penalty area. Forster gets a fist on it. Back in by Davis. Now Samaras. Content that he had time to take a touch. It's worked out here for Whittaker. Lovely little slip ball. Naismith has got men inside. Oh, Davis couldn't quite reach up. Couldn't quite get there. It was behind Jelavic in front of Davis. It was an opportunity for Rangers for sure.
Without a doubt, had the final ball been a little bit better to either of those two Rangers players, that can spell problems for Celtic.
Well, Greg Wild making just his third senior start for Rangers. Some of the quality off that left foot of his has been excellent. Here he goes again. Onto the penalty spot, and that's pretty good as well. It's headed over wide by Weir.
He's done well, Greg Wild, for one so young, especially coming into a game like this. There's one not so young, David Weir, up for a corner.
A very positive start to the second period from Walter Smith's side. Naismith climbing, getting the flick on. Davis getting it all wrong there. Celtic throwing. Mulgrew. Forced back by Lafferty. Forster had to keep his eye on that as it bubbled towards him. Papac. Headed away by Runya. With a very, very eventful first half. Here's Ledley, the Celtic goal scorer. Samaras. Beyond Kayal though. Here's Wild. Setting off down the left-hand side again. Good challenge by Kayal. And he's still going here. Brought a lot to Celtic this season, despite missing the best part of 3 months after a hernia op. Hooked on by Jelavic. Here's Scott Brown. Not as much in the thick of things, operating on the right side of midfield, Scott Brown. Wilson's header. Here's Brown now, time to take a touch. Short to Wilson.
And the second half started the way the first half started, fast and furious. Certainly can't accuse either side of sitting back and being content with the 1-1.
Hooper. Brown, man over his Commons. Can he get his shot away? Looks to provide the assist, and Sasa Papac almost turned it into his own net.
Oh, how lucky is Papac that this doesn't end up in the back of his own net. Good ball from Chris Commons. Oh, how lucky is that?
He went with the wrong foot there, Papac. His left foot, which is his right foot, if you follow my understanding. Deep corner. Oh, Alexander flapping at it. Davis asking a lot of Naismith. Fraser-Forster going long. Samaras with the flick on, can't find Hooper. Oh, Lafferty. He's managed to get on it, needs some support now. Wild. Strength of Scott Brown winning out, but Wild is in there again. The young man, but playing with no fear today, Greg Wild.
Certainly done well today, Greg Wild. Aggressive, persistent.
Papac, who I'd imagine is still breathing a huge sigh of relief after what went on in his own penalty area a moment or two ago. Lafferty wins the corner off Scott Brown. Some big targets to aim at here. Outswinger from Wild, half-headed away by Ronya. Just couldn't keep it down, Jelavic.
For the second time in the game inside the box, he'll be a little bit disappointed with his finish. Ball just doesn't drop kindly enough for him. Always in the air, smashes it way over the crossbar. There's that almost own goal from Papac. Well, he didn't find the back of his own net. I'll never know.
And look at the look on his face as soon as it headed back towards his own net. A mightily relieved man. Well, I think he, like the rest of us, none the wiser as to what's going to happen from here. Good hold-up play by Lafferty again, swung in by Papac. Better header from Ronya that time. Here comes Bugera. Well, he'll be the main man as of next season, Ali McCoist. Big job for a massive fans' favourite at Rangers. Ledley lets it run through to Cummins. Thought Ledley had continued his run there, and Isaguirre just left a lazy leg there.
Well, just getting a little bit scrappy the last 4 or 5 minutes. Going back to Ali McCoist, you're right, Des. Big job for Ali. Walter Smith's record is unbelievable. Hasn't had a great deal of money either in the last few years.
There's that bit of a comfort zone in being a number 2, isn't there? But when you're the number 1, when everything stops with you...
Well, the bullets get fired at you as a number 1. Number 2, you can just sit back and let the manager take all the bullets. But I think Ali will do well as a bubbly character.
And Naismith looking to epitomise the Rangers' fight in this second half. No lost causes out there. Every ball being fought for. Wild again. Another excellent delivery. Edu just couldn't climb high enough. Retrieved by Bugera. Scott Brown fancies a nibble. There goes Bugera again. He's done really well. Edu. You could see what was in his mind just to dink it round the corner.
I'm not so sure David Weir would be too happy about Bugera venturing forward to over to the left wing. I think he could do with him back playing alongside him, because up to now they haven't made any mistakes, the two of them.
Love to know where Bugera plays in training, Lou. Here's Weir. That's the beating of Samaras on that occasion. Forward by Ledley. Flag up against Hooper. There is Anthony Stokes, most Celtic goals this season. Strangely enough, though, when it comes to playing Rangers in the 5 meetings up to this, just 1 start for Anthony Stokes and 1 substitute appearance. Doesn't often feature in the Old Firm games. Has scored in all 3 rounds of this competition up to the final, though. Anthony Stokes could have a big part to play yet. Here's Samaras. He's overrun that. Good challenge from Bugera, and good to see both men straight back up off the ground. Kayal protected it. The referee doesn't give the free kick. Looked like he'd have cause for one there. Here's Kayal again. Wilson. Just putting his foot through it under strong Rangers pressure. Papac inside. Gets it back from Davis. Look at Alan Thompson right out to the edge of the technical area for Celtic. Looking for more from his side. It's been Rangers on top second half so far.
There's a push from Ronya, and then he complains about the decision. Just got to be a little bit more patient, not try and get in front of Jelavic.
Well, you made the point to me, Lou, when we got the team sheets. Ronya won't have played in many games like this before. Swung in by Wild, another brilliant delivery. Mulgrew got enough on it from a Celtic point of view, and now he's Aguirre. Has he the pace to get away here? Yellow card coming out for Papac.
There's no way Craig Thompson can get this one wrong. Wonderful run from Aguirre. Blatant foul from Papac, yellow card.
Knew exactly what he was doing there. Papac knew he was beaten. On a caution now. Now Ronya. Towards that far side, Samaras, handball.
Neil Lennon's thinking of making a substitution, bringing Anthony Stokes on. It's interesting to see who he takes off. Gary Hooper hasn't been in the game a great deal. George Samaras has. Never really looked like a goal threat though. So a big decision for Neil.
Forward by Bugera, flag against Lafferty this time. Seen Robin van Persie pick up an expensive yellow card for something not too dissimilar after the whistle had gone. And again, hard to hear anything at Hampden as well when it's like this, Luke.
I think that is the difference days. You can't hear anything at Hampden on a day like today.
Oh, Samaras came down nicely for him. Creeping towards the hour mark. No goal to add to the 2 he had in the space of 7 first half minutes from Stephen Davis and Joe Ledley. There's the impressive Wild again. Takes the responsibility on himself. Ronya not too clever in trying to clear. Big shout from Edu for handball there. Mark Wilson still scrapping for it. Lafferty still in there. And anywhere will do from Mulgrew.
Well, the Rangers players are convinced it's a penalty kick. Are they right? Or is Craig Thompson right? We've got another view of it. Well, has he got this one wrong?
Well, 2 questions. What part of the anatomy did it strike? And did he make himself a bigger target? Wilson. Here's Wild. Whistle gone.
Who'd be a referee, Des? Hasn't got the benefit of replays. He's got to make an instant decision. And when you see that one again, is it shoulder, is it hand? Where is it?
Well, all he can say is you've seen them given, you've seen them not given, and today it's not given.
He's right there again. No, there's the referee right on the spot. And there's Walter about 90 yards away saying Stonewall penalty.
It's funny the things that managers see and managers don't. Lafferty a little late there on Kayal. Forward by Brown. Here's Hooper against Bugera. Weir wins it back for Rangers.
And if there's a Celtic claim up the other end, Des, does he dare give a penalty?
Well, Key, who'd have been disappointed to be left out of the starting 11 today, he's going to come in. We'll wait and see for who. Scott Brown not one to stay down, so this would be a concern. Could it be the end of the day for the Celtic skipper?
I think he's the most likely to come off, Des, for Key.
Just wonder if that is the case. Key, who operates centrally. Would it mean a little reshuffle? Would it mean Ledley to the left? Commons to the right, perhaps? Brown certainly won't want to go off. Willie Cullen, who's the fourth official today, just down there trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Wilson. There's Commons, upended by Edu. And Scott Brown back on. Still just testing himself out there. He's had that persistent and nagging ankle problem this season. As Commons puts it in, Edu to knock it back out. Now Kayal. Good climb and win from Bugera. Brown. Knocked off it by Davis. Wild. Lafferty will chase this. Good starting position from Forster.
Well, certainly not that comfortable, Scott Brown, out on the right-hand side of the midfield. Anytime he's getting pushed out there, it's not a position he relishes playing. Need a bit of pace to play in that position.
As we said earlier, nothing a lost cause. Lafferty chased that one down. But it is Scott Brown. The armband is going to be passed on, I think, to Mark Wilson. A great round of applause for Brown, but I think as well for Key. So it's the two 22-year-old central midfield now. Key and Kayal. This man has a lot of admirers. Naismith forced back to Davis. That won't reach Whittaker. One back by Naismith, and what's more, he's found Jelavic. Lafferty sets off through the middle. Wild over on this near side. Jelavic trying to take it in his stride. The referee's going to bring it back for a little nibble on Naismith off the ball.
Yeah, it's a late challenge from Kyle.
I think he was going with the tactic there. If I don't look at the referee, he won't book me. Not so. Just our third card of the day. We played, what, almost 66 minutes.
That's not bad, Des. It's a lot better than we expected. Done well, the players.
And Wild again, looking to deliver with quality here. And I wonder if that was intentional. If it was, he may just have spotted Forster a yard or two off his line.
I think he just overhits it, Des.
Well, he's entrusted with all the set pieces, and here he goes again. Onto the penalty spot, header one, but off target. Hasn't scored for Rangers, David Weirloo, since November the 9th of 2008. It's been a bit of a wait.
I think what he's doing at the back defensively is enough there to expect him to come up and on the score sheet most weeks. I think they're asking a bit too much, but he's been a real credit to the game up in Scotland, David Weir.
Walter Smith's first signing back in 2007. Naismith certainly looked offside.
It's just the time he's running a little bit better, Stephen. Naismith looking right along the line. The other two offside.
Mulgrew out towards that left-hand side. Up down one inside to Samaras, but Rangers throw in. What's it to be for Neil Lennon today? Suffered heartbreak, maybe his worst result of his Celtic managerial career so far at Hampden last season, the Scottish Cup semi-final defeat to Ross County. Could it be happier memories today?
I expect to see him gamble, Des, before the 90th minute with Anthony Stokes, a goal scorer.
Oh, numbers forward here for Rangers. Wild with a wild effort.
He just had to keep his cool, the young man. Gets a sight at goal, just hurries his shot and blasts it wide of the target.
Well, Lafferty wanted it back inside, and there were others too. Just mention those substitutes. Managers might be thinking that way now. Celtic already have brought Key on. Oh, Lonya's lost out here. Jelavic trying to go all the way himself. Great covering from Mulgrew. Realised his centre half partner was in trouble. Got across. Now Wilson. Selling Commons short. He's gone down. Referee says free kick. Converted left back to the rescue for Celtic there.
Jelavic just didn't have the pace to go all the way. Charlie Mulgrew comes across, intercepts, good defending.
Well as Key and the sub-goalkeeper, Lucas Jaluska. It's Glenn Louvens, Paddy McCourt and Anthony Stokes. And Samaras is pegged again. Only 5 substitutes in the League Cup. For Rangers, Alan McGregor, the sub-goalkeeper, Vladimir Weiss, Kyle Hutton, Elhaj Juff and David Healy. Walter Smith and Ali McCoy's yet to make their first move off the bench.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Stokes for Samaras. He's starting to give away 1 or 2 free kicks, Samaras, when he's trying to control the ball.
20 minutes of normal time remaining. This one goes Samaras' way. Bulgaria is going to be called forward here for his protest as much as anything.
I don't know why he's arguing. He's all over Samaras.
Trying to explain his case there, Bulgaria, but it'll be a free kick either way. Now Mulgrew's there, Ledley's there, Commons as well.
I think this is a chance for Chris Commons with his left foot.
Here we go then. And it's well wide of the mark. Not quite sure he'll get the next one.
There's no chance of it the next one, Des. No, he's had a couple today and blasted them wide.
Just feeling his foot there. I just wonder if he cut some turf as well as the ball as he shot there, Chris Cummins.
I mentioned it at the start of the game, Des, the surface, and it has been bobbly, and both sets of players have done well at times to control the ball.
Here's Hooper. With the most accurate of balls forward for Cummins. Papach away. On by Wilson. Papach there once more.
He's got to be careful, Papach, every tackle he makes.
Cummins looking for it. Samaras won't get that.
Is he considering a change? Hasn't really happened for Samaras today. Willing worker, but hasn't really been a threat for Celtic.
Here we go. It's Ronya to go off. There's been a couple of shaky moments. Left out of the starting 11 today. Glenn Leuven's back in the action. There's a fixture in the side for the start of the season. Started 13 of the first 15. Bummed out at October. Back on Wednesday at Inverness. And what he does have is plenty of experience of the Old Firm occasion.
It's not often you see that though, Des, with 17 minutes to go and the team's level. Centre-half coming off and another centre-half going on unless he's injured.
Header won by Weir, but here's Wilson. Cummins. Kayal. You just wonder if it did boil down to experience for Neil Lennon. Ronya, as we mentioned, just 20. Still learning his trade. Forward for the run of Naismith. Good header by Mulgrew. Here's Izaguirre. Haven't seen much of him going forward second half. Bugera Gambon is out of position now. Key. Straight off the referee. Kaya. Hooper waiting for it. Davis not so. Edu. Now Naismith.
Morris Edu just having trouble controlling the ball. Just bobbled over his foot. You'd expect Hampden Park to be in better condition than this days.
Mulgrew hoping that would run, but Lafferty hasn't stopped from the first whistle. Chasing everything down, not allowing Celtic an easy out there. Izaguirre trying to steal a yard or two. Knocked inside by Naismith. Davis and Edu, and now Papach. 76th minute towards Lafferty, who got there. Another penalty appeal from Rangers, and again it's fallen on deaf ears. Papach to send it back again. Davis looked to go in late there on Luvens. Wild. Lafferty, Jelic trying to get there. Forster gets a fist on it. Whittaker. Pinball in there, Lafferty. Oh, risky challenge. Referee happy with it though. Mulgrew dived in on Lafferty. Here's Samaras and the break is on here. Izagirre. He's got 5, 6 on the inside. Needs to find the right ball here. Samaras. Squeeze it forward. Key is in, or is he? Fired over by Hooper.
Well, I've got to say, Des, on another day, Gary Hooper in the same position would certainly have hit the target. This was a great opportunity for Celtic to win the match. Inside that 18-yard box, the one thing about Hooper is normally on target, normally tests the goalkeeper. This one way over the crossbar. Here's the other penalty claim.
I think Luvens on Stephen Davis.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest one for the referee to get right. Craig Thompson didn't even consider that one, and quite rightly so.
And maybe Stephen Davis thinking eventually we've got to get one.
It doesn't work out like that though, Des. 4 claims and you eventually get one.
It's not a totting up system. Commons runs straight into Bugera. There's Luvens. Well, Commons just waited, had a little look.
I'm not so sure about this one either. He does wait, has a little look, gets a nudge in the back from Bugera. Right, he eventually grabs the ball, but how does he arrive at that decision?
Cup finals, such huge occasions for players, but for officials as well. Just wonder if this was the one you wanted to avoid, though, as a match referee.
Oh, I certainly think so, Des. It's difficult refereeing any game. It's difficult refereeing cup finals, but the Celtic Rangers Cup final, I think without doubt the most difficult. So many decisions today for the referee to make, and quickly he's had to make them, and there's no way he can get them all right. But the penalty claim for Rangers, that has baffled me, because he awarded the penalty, then quickly turned it down, and I just don't know why he changed his mind.
This will be worrying in the week where they lost Kyle Bartley, possibly for the rest of the season. They don't have a substitute defender on the bench. Might be a question of Greg Wild, who has played left back, forced to drop back in, maybe Papach into centre half. If they do lose Maciej Bugera to injury. Alan Thompson prowling. 11 minutes of normal time to go.
It's that time in the game that you can't afford a mistake. Make that mistake and concede a goal, it's almost over for you. Then a little time to get back.
Free kick conceded here by Mark Wilson.
There's not much happened there, is there?
The standing skipper now trying to organise that defence for this free kick. Wild again to swing it in. Too deep for everyone in blue, to be retrieved by Stephen Davis. Whittaker. Decent ball across to the recovered Bugera. Papach has popped up infield in a very advanced position. Here he is, trying to force his way through.
Just didn't have the pace, Papach, to actually get through without fouling a Celtic player. Stuart Ledley pulls back.
Well, they won it late last season. Looking to do so again here, Rangers. Long by Forster. Header won by Edu. Mulgrew over Lafferty. Here's Kyle and Key. Just hasn't happened for Gary Hooper today. Wilson for Hooper in the corner. To take on Papac.
You put the cuss on him, Des. I've never seen Gary Hooper do that. Wide in the right, simple ball into the box, right behind the goals.
And normally if a commentator does that, it works out the other way. Well, he's a downcast figure as he trudges off here, Bulgara. Kyle Hutton, 19 years of age, has experienced a big occasion this season. Champions League against Manchester United. He started at PSV Eindhoven in that Europa League first leg game. Let's wait and see what that means for the setup here. It's like Maurice Edu has dropped back, possibly to right back, and Whittaker into centre half.
Yeah, that's how Rangers have reorganised. Milovic down again. This time I think he genuinely is hurt. Just a clash of studs there.
Nothing intentional there from Leuven's, just caught maybe the left knee of Jelavic. Five meetings to this point, 3 Celtic wins, 1 Rangers win. That in the first meeting of the 5. 1 draw in the Scottish Cup. Nothing to separate them today as Whittaker, now at centre half, plays it forward. Here's Wild. Did well to take it on his chest there. Papac and Weir. Papac again. Kayal, lovely delicate touch. Wilson, Hooper will chase. Well, this was the minute when Kenny Miller popped up for Rangers last season. Celtic looking to score in this minute now. Wilson over the head of Key, headed away by Whittaker. Kayal. Wilson, chance to measure this one. Samaras coming to meet Whittaker there first. Naismith. Now Hutton. Charged down by Kayal, and they've numbers forward here. Commons. Samaras has Ledley out on that left-hand side. Still Samaras. Now looks for Ledley. Here's the setup for Izagirre. Good-looking cross. Difficult to defend, but he managed to do it, David Weir.
I'd just like to see Giorgio Samaras in at that near post with a diving header, just like David Weir. And a great chance to come across the face of David Weir and get in front of him.
Just landed awkwardly there, Weir. Into the mix and fired goalwards, and maybe anywhere but there. It was straight from Ledley at the goalkeeper.
Well, he's been in good goal-scoring form recently, Joe Ledley, and he'll be kicking himself. He didn't put this one away. This hits his shot, what, from about 8 yards. Great opportunity to win the cup for Celtic.
Just looking at David Weir, I think he might have picked up a hand injury, but with Barkley unavailable, with Bulgara off, can't afford to lose another defender. Wild drawing 2 to him. Hutton put it into the mix. Good communication there. Izagirre and Charlie Mulgrew.
I think it's the pace of the game as well, Des, with David Weir. He's been fast and furious for 85 minutes and possibly another half an hour after the 90 minutes still to go.
You'd have to say, though, from Walter Smith's point of view, we wondered about him up against the pace of Hooper, but Rangers haven't allowed Hooper to get into those situations today. Here he is now, policed by Edu. Any goal now you'd fancy would be the winner. Key. Back to him from Ledley. Here's Key again. Continuing to probe down that left-hand side, Celtic. Izagirre. Lovely feet from Key, and Izagirre again. And Key once more. Can he find the cross he's looking for? Not quite, and dealt with by Weir. Celtic to come again. Kayal. Ooh, an unnecessary challenge from Kyle Hutton. In a decent position this for Celtic now.
And just starting to play some good football, Celtic, knocking it around, making the Rangers lads chase after the ball. Silly foul from Kyle Hutton.
Now needs one good delivery here. What can Key conjure? Here we go then, whipped in at pace. Comfortable save for Alexander.
Oh, 3 minutes left on the clock there. You just want that ball going into the danger area and making that Rangers defence defend, and overhit. Free kick from Key.
Jelavic can't take it in. Here's Commons, yet to have his say. Davis. Jelavic. Well, Naismith won't get there. A little uncertainty there between Glenn Louvens and Fraser Forster. Izagirre backing up Edu, taking on and beating Edu. And Whittaker, very well judged, got across into that right back position, blocked the cross. And nothing silly from Mulgrew at this stage.
Well, never mind David Weir looking tired, Des. The rest of the two teams are looking tired as well. It's been a hard slog right throughout this game, been played at a frantic pace.
And of course, Celtic played in the Cup on Wednesday. Rangers a day later in the Europa League. But there are some tired-looking legs out there now. Looking set for extra time. Kayal into the corner for Samaras. A little bit of afters there between Weir and Samaras.
Oh, it was a perfectly timed tackle. Watch David Weir slide in here, gets the ball. Don't think Samaras can have any complaints about that.
30 seconds of normal time remaining. Wilson looking for an option, goes to Samaras. Good close control, a lovely ball in behind Wild, who was caught sleeping. And Whittaker forced to clear. Three additional minutes. Commons and Wilson. Commons again allowed to get his cross in, headed away by Whittaker. Didn't get much on that though, Hutton. And now Davis. Celtic look to be finishing the stronger here. Kayal. Oh, he's off and running again, and he's won the corner.
And the last chance of the game probably for someone to win the cup.
Now look at Hooper. He's had a quiet day, but anything knocked down into that 6-yard area is in a great position. He gives the signal. Good headed away by David Weir. Here's Aguirre. You don't want to lose it here. Full court press from Rangers. It was Davis, but they've worked it out to Ledley. Samaras. Ledley again. Cross blocked. Celtic throw it.
Celtic definitely finishing the stronger of the two sides. Only just nick a goal in the last minute and a half.
Here's Key. Kayal looks up to see Samaras far post. He's the target. Excellent win from Whittaker. Samaras, who's gone down, referee right there again, happy to let it go on. Whittaker in for a second bite at it, and now Davis to bring it away. 60 seconds to go, and looking to spring Lafferty. Great covering from Wilson. Stand-in skipper hammers it forward, and that's a foul by Hooper.
I think players from both sides now starting to get tired. A little nudge there from Gary Hooper.
Well, this is interesting. Walter Smith not waiting for the final whistle to make his change. Vladimir Weiss on for Kyle Lafferty. Wilson forward. Final whistle imminent now as Cummins tries to wriggle free down the right-hand side. Here's Wild and Weiss. Freshest pair of legs on the pitch, and a free kick here right at the death.
And the clock says 93 minutes and 8 seconds. As the referee going to blow his whistle as this free kick's taken? Probably not, Des. Normally allows the ball to go dead before blowing for full time, but certainly a foul.
Well, the change, bringing on Weiss, happening in stoppage time, so it should add an extra 30 seconds, but he didn't waste any time, did he, Vladimir Weiss, in making an impact. Ran at Leuven's, knocked it beyond. Drew the foul, and now the free kick. It's got to be the last action of normal time. Will it be the last action of the game, though? How dramatic a finish might this be? It is quite a distance out, though. Here we go then with Weiss. Off the wall. And that brings us to full time. So as is the case, as was the case 2 years ago, the League Cup final between the Old Firm will go to extra time. We'll take a quick break and back with those extra 30 minutes after that.
So 30 minutes minimum ahead of us. Craig Thompson is about to bring the captains out there for the resumption. And I'm not complaining about seeing more of it. Stuart, do you feel Rangers would claim to have shaded it?
Yeah, I think Celtic finished the strongest last 10, but up to then I thought Rangers were stronger. But I think the substitution, Brigada going off, Whittaker having got a centre-back and Edu right-back.
You're a Lewandowski again, thank you.
So here we go then, the extra 30 minutes. 2 years ago it was Darren O'Dea who got Celtic off to a flyer in extra time. Confirmed it with a last-minute Aidan McGeady penalty. Who will extra time favour this time round? Could it be fatigue the big factor now? They haven't had a free week either, them, Lou, in the build-up to this one.
Oh, I think without a doubt, Des, looking at the players out there long before that final whistle when a lot of them were struggling, and this extra half hour I think is going to find, well, the large majority of them out. It's been tough going for them.
Weiss chopped down by Leuven's again. Here's Weir. Over towards this near side, Naismith. Edu. It'll loose that one, picked up by Kayal. That won't reach Commons. Plenty of changes on both sides when you look at the players out there at the moment from 2009. Of those on the pitch, only Louvens, Wilson, Samaras. From a Celtic point of view, for Rangers it's Whittaker, Weir, Papac, Davis. And of course, neither of the Celtic goal scorers that day. Naismith. Pushed back by Izagirre. Here's Edu. Skips away from the Celtic fullback. Still going, Edu. What can he fashion from here? Looking to go long, free header though for Mulgrew. Each manager still with one change in hand. For Celtic, Anthony Stokes, Paddy McCourt. For Rangers, David Healy, El Hadj Diouf. We were keeping an eye on Alan Thompson and Neil Lennon during the break, and I think the communications broke down. It seemed to be that Alan Thompson seemed to be asking Neil Lennon if he wanted to take off Gary Hooper.
And I think Neil Lennon was signalling put number 10 on, and number 10's Anthony Stokes. So let's just see if that does materialise.
Away by Whittaker. Oh, it's now a bit of a mix and match. Rangers back four. Hutton had the strength to hold off Commons. Now Papac. Jelic upended. Weir. Down the middle, Jelic with a little touch. Here's Hutton. Looking to show his passing range, almost for Weiss. What they do have, Rangers, is young legs in the wide positions. Wild on the left, Weiss on the right. Louvens. Now Ledley. Squeeze it down the line, Samaras. Whittaker standing off Samaras, backing his pace here. Getting to the end line, getting his cross in. Then he had Hooper. Commons was much deeper.
Well, Samaras there just flew past Stephen Whittaker, beat him for pace, and had the final ball been that little bit more precise, that could have been a goal for Celtic.
Good work from Samaras, encouraging for Celtic. Up in the air from Kayal, here comes Weir again. Weiss. Chance to have a little dart here. Still going. And fouled again, Vladimir Weiss. But his directness is certainly causing problems for the Celtic defenders.
There's no doubt about this free kick. Referee in a good position. Mark Wilson with a trip.
He's never getting there, the standing skipper. Yellow card for Wilson, but from a Rangers point of view, more importantly, free kick in a decent position now. Well, Jelic wants it, Davis wants it. Papac and Hutton not too far away either. Here we go then, it is to be Jelic, looking for the corner, big deflection, and great reactions from Forster.
What a save from Fraser Forster. big deflection. Oh, how did he get to that? Wonderful save with his left hand.
Brilliant piece of goalkeeping. The big man was committed to going to his right, had to readjust. Got a strong left hand on that. Back in by Whittaker. Good climb from Luvens. Davis for Weiss. Tricky customer. That one's going to carry all the way through to the Celtic goalkeeper.
Well, if he was in any way at fault with the opening Rangers goal, he certainly made up for it here. Wonderful save, shots deflected, Foster's going one way, ball's heading for the back of the net, and with his left hand, keeps it out the back of that net.
Outstanding from the young goalkeeper. Turned 23 on St. Patrick's Day. Got to be a Celtic player then. Forward by Naismith, Jelavic. Alan Thompson not happy. Didn't think Jelavic had any intention of playing the ball there. Here's Key. Commons onto Hooper, and now Samaras. And Commons went again. And a better ball, and he was in.
Good play once again from Celtic. Had that final ball from Samaras.
Oh, fights for Jelavic, and he's in here. Off the post, and in again. It's that same post for Rangers. Quick thinking from the substitute Vladimir Weiss. And Nikita Jelavic with his 11th of the season. Rangers back in front.
Oh, Celtic defence just goes to sleep. Quick free kick from Rangers. Celtic defenders caught napping. Jelavic goes through. Keeper to beat. Bounces off the post. Looks for 1 minute, so he's certain to come back out into play. Spinning the ball, must have taken it goalwards. Back it goes into the back of the net. Good finish from Jelavic. Here you go, hits the post. No way is it going over the line. It's the bounce of the ball, comes back towards the other post, into the back of the net. 2-1 Rangers.
Ecstasy for Jelavic and Rangers, agony for Celtic. On another day that hits the post and rebounds to safety. Is it a sign it could be Rangers' day? But huge credit to Vladimir Weiss, the substitute, who's wasted no time in making a big impact on this game. Took the free kick quickly, but even taking it quickly, the weight on the ball was perfect.
Well, it had to be perfect. There's two Celtic defenders there, sandwiched in between the two of them was that man Jelavic. Managed to get clear, still had the goalkeeper to beat, slides it past the goalkeeper, but just watch the ball, back off the post. No way is it getting in the back of the net, and somehow or other, well, whether it hit a bump or something and went back into the back of the net. A little bit of luck, maybe it's just with Rangers.
And Walter Smith, he was never celebrating before it hit the net. Far too long in the tooth for that. But Nikita Jelavic, who caused Celtic no end of problems in his Rapid Vienna days, has struck against them here on Cup final day. Celtic will have to come from behind again. Got back on terms after just 7 minutes behind in the first half. Will that prompt Neil Lennon into his final change, I wonder?
Well, I think he's got to bring in a goal scorer now, as the need is there for all. Got to get back into this game with a quick reply.
Well, they'll be wishing the time away now. Here goes Izagirre. Oh, great cross, almost reached Samaras. Weir got the most important of touches on that. Here's Wilson. Kayal. Can he find a cross here? The Rangers 3 to Celtics 2, and it's Weiss to bring it away. Taking on Key, this way and that.
And certainly those fresh legs of Vladimir Weiss have helped Rangers.
Samaras, bundled over by Naismith. And they've still got a good 20 minutes, Celtic. What do they say? It only takes a second to score a goal.
There's someone out there, Des, in green and white hoops that can score a goal today.
It's Mulgrew to take this one. Deep towards the back post. And the buddies go to ground. And Ledley, the one feeling it more than most.
And there's that free kick into the box, and no one really in that 6-yard box to take advantage of the knockdown. I think if there's any doubt about Joe Ledley at all, there's you get him off and get Anthony Stokes on. Here's that goal again. And how did that find the back of the net? That's amazing.
I think if they do go on and win at Rangers, they'll be digging up that goal post and bringing it back to Ibrox with them. Such a fine margin between success and failure, particularly in the Old Firm. Naismith. Ledley not appreciated it, and I think I saw why. He just had a little kick out. Stephen Naismith certainly didn't need to do that. Now it's Chris Cummins to go off. We won't be seeing their leading scorer, Anthony Stokes. Paddy McCourt on. Back-to-back League Cups at home in his Derry City days. I did mention earlier, Anthony Stokes hasn't really featured against Rangers this season, and he won't today. McCourt, though, on his day, can provide those moments of magic. Have to get him on the ball, though. Ledley fighting for it, but losing out. Here's Davis. Whittaker. Happy to knock it long.
I think it's fair to say, Des, that Anthony Stokes on his day can provide those moments of magic.
Interesting decision from Neil Lennon. Here's Izaguirre trying to shake off Naismith. Key. Touch of a heavy touch. Here's Jelavic. Well judged by Mulgrew. Kayal. Slips it through to Key. Lovely touch on that from Ledley. Izaguirre, what's the right foot like? Whittaker to head away. Comes Izaguirre again. Jelavic all the way back there to help out. Kayal. Rangers dropping deeper and deeper. Mulgrew. Is there time to fashion one chance before half-time and extra time? Mulgrew gets plenty of air on that. Papach will hope to see it out. And that should see Rangers through to the break here.
Now, what's been great about this cup final, Des, is plenty of talking points, and I don't mean the behaviour of the players on the pitch. In the last game, we saw the behaviour of the players, and it was something we didn't want to see again, but all credit to them today.
Well, Alexander hasn't heard the whistle. It's half-time and extra time. Let's head back to Paul for some studio analysis.
And to Alan Stubbs, Celtic have played their hand in terms of substitutions. Where's the goal going to come from, Alan?
Interesting one. I thought they would have brought Stokes on, especially with them talking about at the end of the 90 minutes. Now it's the players that are on the pitch. Now that they've left it to, I think they need to get at Rangers now. You know, take it to them now. They've got nothing to lose.
Stuart, you said it while watching this. For Rangers, we've got McCoist and Walter Smith able to work with the players on the touchline, and obviously Celtic are without Lennon. He's up in the stands, and we caught a glimpse of his radio not working, so
yeah, It'll be
That's got to help Rangers, hasn't it?
Yeah,
as much as the ball going in the net here.
It'll certainly be killing Lenny having to, sit up in the stand and watch it. But that's what we talked about. Jelavic, he plays on the shoulder, and it's a terrific goal. But I think up to now, I know there's 15 minutes to go. But I think David Weir's been excellent for Rangers, and he'll be hoping to keep a clean sheet now to win the cup. Do
you fancy that you can see it through from here? There he is. Look.
Yeah, I mean, what influence can he have from there? It must be absolutely inside once they get out there and get into his players. But yeah, I mean, the trouble is with Celtic, they never know when they beat. So a big 15 minutes.
Lewandowski once more.
15 minutes for Celtic to rescue this. Provision for penalties if needed. They were involved in one of the most dramatic penalty shootouts I've ever seen in the semi-final of this competition 2 years ago against Dundee United. 11-10 it ended. We even had the goalkeeper step up on that occasion. And a goal down. Will they settle for penalties now? Here's McCourt. Picked up by Hutton. What will Rangers' approach be now? There is that danger if they drop off, they could be asking for trouble.
Oh, that's 15 minutes away from winning the cup. I don't think they intend to drop off. I think they intend to chase every ball, put Celtic under pressure, keep the ball up the other end as long as possible. And Stuart just mentioned there at half-time about David Weir. Unbelievable. 40 years of age, running around Hampden Park like a young man.
Looking to seal it here with maybe a third goal. Davis looking to get in behind. Davis again. Here's Weiss. And he's acting as cheerleader now as well, Vladimir Weiss. Still a Manchester City player, but loan spells these days. Bolton last season, Rangers this. It certainly has made an impact off the bench today. Davis, still full of running, hammered away by Ledley. Forster. Off the head of Papach. There's Whittaker. Hutton. Now Davis. Clips it out to that right-hand side, and Weiss, who they're getting on it now as much as possible. Taking on and beating is Aguirre. Naismith, has he the legs to get there?
Well, both teams are tired, Des, but the big advantage obviously Rangers have is when you're a goal in front and you can see the finishing line and you are in front, you just run that little bit quicker, you walk that little bit harder, you close down. Look at the Rangers players there getting back. All right, it's a foul, but they're getting people behind the ball. They're going to make it difficult for Celtic.
There's Beram Kayal trying to lead the Celtic charge forward. Here's McCourt. Space now on the right-hand side. Chance for Wilson to get his cross in. Very deep. Samaras underneath. Policed by Edu. Here's Key. Davis standing there, asking him to make his move. Samaras again. Taking on Edu. Trying to get his cross in, or at least win the corner, and he's managed the latter.
Oh, Celtic need a good delivery here into that 6-yard area, put people under pressure.
Can he pick out a teammate here? Curled in by Key. Towering header from Weir. Chase on here is Aguirre beating Naismith. Here's Key again. Eventually gets his cross in. It's not a great one. Headed away by Hutton. Jelavic eased out of it. McCourt. Wilson. McCourt again. Very deceptive runner. Always trod on the ball, and Rangers to bring it away. And Davis, an onside here. Has he the strength to hold on, Jelavic? One-on-one here against Mulgrew, who's managed to hold him up. but at the expense of a free kick here. That's a yellow card from Mulgrew. Jelavic wanted more.
Certainly not enough time in the game to argue with the referee. Minutes are ticking away. There's a foul from Charlie Mulgrew right on the edge of the box. They're certainly going to take their time with this, Rangers.
Jelavic still, as we mentioned, he's had quite a few injury problems this season. He's been ineligible for the Europa League, so hasn't featured too often. You can see him puffing out the cheeks. He's feeling it now. But right on the edge of the area. One more for Rangers. Could be curtains for Celtic. Papac charged down. Kayal so quickly out at him there. Here's Weiss. Trying to do too much. Kayal to come away. Papac. Robbed by McCourt. Nine minutes and counting for Celtic. Here's McCourt again. Wilson looking to play it in Rangers territory. Here's Key. Kayal on the stretch, got there. And Ledley helping it out to the left-hand side is Aguirre. Can he fashion a cross here? High and hanging, bodies attacking it. It was Papac to head away. Here's Wilson. And Key will get there first. Celtic to come again. Mulgrew skips away from Naismith. Out towards this near side. Decent ball as well. Wilson. He's got bodies in the penalty area. Sting taken out of the cross and Papac can clear.
Just looking for a good ball in from Mark Wilson. Just at a time when you need a decent ball into the box.
McCourt trying to put it in behind. Hooper. Kayal onto Key. From distance. Well off the mark.
Oh, you're right, Des, it was from distance and it never really looked on. Key being put under pressure. It's a poor shot way over the crossbar.
As we've seen this season, as we've seen in recent seasons, particularly in Europe, there aren't many more sides with that dogged determination to defend a lead than Rangers. Celtic have to find a way through. On by Ledley, Samaras. Barged over by Hutton. Again, the young midfielder concedes the free kick. Just threatening to boil over a little bit here now, Naismith and Samaras.
And that suits Rangers, Des, once you get them involved in a little fracas. Seconds tick away.
Now, what's Key got in store here? Clips it forward, right down the middle. The referee spots a foul in there.
And this is into a crowded box. Does well to spot a foul. The ref, it's a crowded box. Everyone's pushing and shoving. Or was it offside against Bayel?
And possibly that. There was also a bit of a lean on Whittaker by Joe Ledley. Time not on Celtic side. Here's Greg Wild. Louvens. Izaguirre. McCourt, who surprisingly since his introduction has been operating in a fairly central position. Sloppy pass, Naismith to try and take advantage. One back by Ledley. Izaguirre. Where's that moment of inspiration? Samaras. Inside and away from Hutton. Nice ball, that Key. Kayal, all happening in front of Rangers though. Good challenge from Davis, and here he is to bring it away. Trying to hold off Glenn Loovens. Oh, it's terrific from Davis. And what's more, he's found a ball here for Jelavic. Maybe just too much ground to make up, and it's swept away by Mulgrew. Inside the final 5 minutes at Hampden. Nikita Jelavic's goal as it stands. On course to retain the League Cup for Rangers. Well, maybe it was the wisest course of action with so much hype, so much attention on this game after what happened on the 2nd of March, to leave El Hadj Diouf on the bench. Getting the instructions from Kenny McDowell, he's going to come on for the final few minutes here. Jelavic to go off.
There's that Jelavic goal again. Celtic fans will be just wondering how that managed to find the back of the net. Off the post, spins back out. Looks certain to come back out, but no, it spins back over the line into the back of the net. There's Jelavic going to be the hero.
Well, they knew he was quality when they signed him. And his goal-scoring record speaks for itself, Jelavic. 11 goals in 15 Rangers appearances. This one today could be the biggest of all. Just straight into it. Away by Ledley. Here's Samaras. Celtic fans looking for urgency now. McCourt. Diouf not tracking him. It's left to Hutton to come across. Still McCourt setting off on one of these runs. Kayal trying to backheel it back into his path. And now Diouf has got Weiss inside, 2 against 2. Key getting back there to help out his defenders. Diouf looking to provide, and Weiss is in there. Huge save from Forster. And Celtic still breathe. That was the winning of it for Rangers. Mark Wilson. Hooper. He's lost out to Weir. He certainly had the better of that battle today. Diouf felled, or is he? Was it a dive from Diouf? And if it was, is it a yellow card? It is.
Well, it hasn't taken him long to make his mark on the game, has it? A couple of minutes. Let's see if the referee's right.
I think he was going down in installments there, Diouf. And again, it's eaten up more time. Just 2 minutes left now for Celtic. Mulgrew to launch it long. Here comes Samaras, who got the touch on. And Edu there in the nick of time. Oh, it's a silly free kick to give away. The Hooper may be frustrated that he didn't get onto the knockdown from Samaras, but he'd know where to go here, the defender.
Well, it hasn't been a great day for Gary Hooper, Des, and George Samaras alongside him has worked hard. But if you'd asked me at half-time, would Hooper and Samaras complete the 90 minutes? I'd have to have said no. One of them would bound to come off, because some days as a striker, it's your day. Certainly in the last month, the two of them have been magnificent, but today at no stage in the game did it really look like a Gary Hooper day or a Giorgio Samaras day.
And you might have seen Kyle Bartley centre of picture there. Disappointed to miss out today. That will be tempered by the final whistle if it comes on a 2-1 scoreline for his side. McCourt gives it to Izaguirre. Final throw of the dice now for Celtic. Mulgrew got to get it forward. Papac beaten in the air. Wilson's in there, and Hooper's in there. Corner.
So unlucky, Gary Hooper. Had it been his day, this may have ended up in the back of the net. It's a Samaras header. Ball eventually ricochets off 2 or 3 Rangers players and Stephen Whittaker.
That could be a game saver from Whittaker. Fill in centre half. Here's Key's corner, they all climb. Louvens, Ledley, Mulgrew. They'll stay forward. Walter Smith furious that 2 minutes has gone up on the board.
I think he's furious that the referee's awarded a corner kick, Des.
Biggest man on the pitch, Forster's forward. It's a poor corner, headed away by Juff. And now Weiss, there's no goalkeeper. Well, he had to take him out there as a Gare.
He may go off.
Well, we haven't got through the game without a red card. It's Emilio Izaguirre.
It's a blatant body check, and he is the last man. Still a lot for Weiss to do in his own half, but it was a body check, he was the last man. And really, that was an easy decision for Craig Thompson to make.
Oh, what a hugely disappointing end for Celtic. One of those 2 extra minutes in extra time have elapsed. And Papac might stick this one in the corner. Headed away by Louvens. Weiss can't keep it in play. Can the 10 men of Celtic now rescue this? Rangers want the final whistle over the head of Weir and Cummins. Louvens. Here's Naismith. He's heading for the touchline. Key. Still 20 seconds. Mulgrew to launch one. Here's Samaras. Good run from Samaras. Needs something at the end of it. Oh, he's knocked it beyond. And that could be it for Celtic now.
Well, I was just about to say a couple of minutes ago, Des, that George Samaras, so late in the game, keeps coming off and coming into midfield and picking the ball up there. When you don't want him to do that, he's a centre forward. And with time running out, he's got to stay in the box.
Well, Willie Cullen bearing the full brunt of Walter Smith's ire here. Neil Alexander taking as much time as the referee will allow. And after 2 hours plus of football, it's Rangers who have defended their League Cup crown. And in his final season as manager, Walter Smith delivers a 20th trophy for Rangers. What a day for him. They did it the hard way, took the lead through Stephen Davis, pegged back just 7 minutes later through Joe Ledley. There was all the controversy around the penalty that was given and not given after that, as Jelavic went down. But Jelavic, who was booked for that, was to have his say in injury time. And it was that right-hand post in the goal down to our right-hand side that they will go down and maybe kiss and thank for its involvement. Disappointment for Neil Lennon. Rangers have defended their crown. We'll be back for the trophy presentation, but for now, back to Paul in studio.
Thank you to Des and Lou. However many trophies Rangers do pick up, and some of these players have got into double figures a long time ago, it means most when it's against Celtic, and we'll see Rangers collecting their trophy next. It's been a very good few months for Celtic, resurgent, but second at Hampden today. And here they come to collect their losers' medals. Lou and Des once more.
Well, the walk no player wants to make up to receive runners-up medals. So the dream of a treble last achieved in 2001. Well, that has vanished now for Celtic, but still the double very much on. It'll be difficult to lift themselves. It'll be a tough week ahead. But of course, there is the international break. And beyond that, they'll be coming back to resume at Inverness on April 2nd. But just couldn't get that second equaliser.
Well, never really looked like it, Des, and when you're playing in the cup final, the one thing you don't want to do is be going up those steps first. You want to be going up second like the Rangers boys are, and I've got to agree with Stuart McCall in the studio that at half-time he said about the centre-half David Weir. For me, this has been David Weir's cup final. 40 years of age, close to 41. He's been magnificent, but I think the man who may get all the headlines is the man who's just gone out of shot there. The referee had some big calls to make. Certainly be the talking point in the days, weeks, months and years ahead, I think, in Glasgow.
Well, the officials beating a hasty retreat. But David Weir, as you've mentioned, how fitting that it is Weir to lead Rangers up. Just been totting it up, Luke. If you take it over the last 3 full seasons, plus this one, David Weir, 41 in May, will have played 202 games for Rangers, which is incredible.
Well, what I like about him, Des, there's no fuss, he's not flashy in any way. He goes about his job in a professional way. You don't see him diving. And as much as I would like to see Celtic going up the steps now to receive the trophy, it is David Weir, and he certainly deserves it.
Well, what a record they have in this competition, Rangers. 34 finals, now 27 wins. It's a competition they've made their own. Won it late last season, won it in extra time this. Rangers defending their League Cup crown, and the first piece of domestic silverware in Scotland is heading back to Ibrox. Got their noses in front in the first half, pegged back. But it was Nikita Jelavic brought in to score goals, who popped up with the winning goal. Stephen Whittaker played a huge part when he had to go in centre-half after the injury to Magic Bugera, who's up there wrapped in the Algerian flag. But how they will celebrate this one. And after some positive league results of late, they'll look at the league table now. 2 behind Celtic with a game in hand, as Bugera takes the applause. Behind him, Craig Wild, just his 3rd senior start today, and may have faded as it went on, but particularly in normal time, what a game he had. Stephen Davis, man of the match display from him, including the goal. Kyle Hutton on as a substitute, and some others who didn't get to feature today. Kyle Lafferty did his bit of tireless work rate. Sasa Papac, Morris Edu, it's being handed on down the line. And here's the cup winner, Jelavic. A season beset by injuries, but when he has played, he really has produced the goods. And finally, Walter Smith, his final season as Rangers boss before he hands over to Ali McCoist. And you'd have to say, after all he's done for Rangers, a fitting moment for him, Luke.
Oh, without a doubt. He's been going a long time, Walter, and he's one of those managers I thought, well, is his career ever going to come to an end? But he's decided that this year's his final year, and what a fantastic end of his career to him. And just going back to the winning goal, Des, I've played in lots of cup finals myself. I've always taken the view, not just because of the way the result has gone today, but I've always taken the view you need a little bit of luck in a cup final. I played in one in '77 against Liverpool, where a little bit of luck meant that Manchester United and myself won the cup, and certainly been the case today. How that winning goal from Rangers that come off the post, how it ended up in the back of the net, I still can't believe it, but it has done.
Okay, that's where we're going to leave you as Rangers begin their celebrations in earnest. Champions in the Scottish League Cup final yet again.
Stuart, you've been there and enjoyed it on so many occasions. I guess it's always as good as new, that feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I think over the piece, I think the best team won it, to be honest. I think absolutely delighted for Davy Weir. I think it was only less than a month ago after the 3-0 defeat at Parkhead. He was wrote off, he was finished, legs had gone. I think for him, bounce back today. But I think down the centre of the park, Davy Weir, Stephen Davis, Jelavic, big players for Rangers. And I just think the big players for Celtic never turned up. You know, Commons, Kayal, Hooper, Izagiri, who have been a main part of Celtic's side. I don't think they were at it today.
And extending that point, the difference perhaps, Alan, between experience and inexperience. Most of those players that Stuart named there who maybe just disappointed slightly are all 25 or under and not so used to the big day there.
Yeah, I think so. I think they started the game really well, Celtic. And I think once Rangers overcome that, I think you've got to say that, you know, Rangers deserve to win. I think they did enough to win the game. The big players for Celtic unfortunately never turned up, and they didn't do enough to create chances and, you know, force the second goal and equaliser. Davy was brilliant. You know, we said before the game.
Of course, you played with him at Everton.
Yeah, I
did.
Yeah, I did. You know, he'll probably get a text later on. And we mentioned before the game that, you know, whoever comes on top in defence would win the game. You know, Davy Marshall did brilliant. There's no substitute for experience.
And also the experience maybe of learning by experience when Rangers have been so well seen off by Celtic the last 3 meetings in particular. The penny had dropped today, had it not?
Yeah, I think it had. You know, listen to Coistie's press conference before, and he said we must get better and we will get better. You know, and they had all the incentives going into the game today. You know, it's hurt them, the result against Celtic this season, and you know, it was there for all to see today. It meant a lot to them.
Lovely. More from Alan and Stuart before we go. Davy Weir collects it on behalf of Rangers. We'll hear from both camps also when we return. Rangers Day at Hampden, and the man of the match, Steve Davis.
Stephen, that was an incredible game to watch. What kind of game was it to play in?
It was obviously a difficult game to play in. We had to put a lot into the game, and we knew we had to press Celtic and put them under a lot more pressure than what we have done in previous games. And overall, I think we thoroughly deserved the victory.
Both sides gave 100%. Big chances for both sides. Big penalty calls for both sides as well. But did you feel on the balance of play, Rangers deserved the win?
Yeah, I think there's big decisions for both sides in the game, and I think we were unfortunate maybe with a couple of penalty shots, but you just hope that throughout the course of the game you can go on and win it, and I think overall we deserved the win.
Stephen Davis, you're the man of the match. Congratulations with your League Cup victory.
Thank you, thanks very much.
We'll get back to those penalty claims in a moment or two, but from one free-scoring midfielder to another, that right foot's left foot equalled Davis today, right in the corner.
Yeah, that's right. He's not known for scoring his goals, but I thought, apart from his goal, I thought it was excellent throughout. But as you say, when the ball's going up and coming back, you know, Ledley probably should hook it on for Celtic. He has a little flick at it. Davis drives forward like all good midfielders does, and hits the target. And it's, you know, it's not got the power, but it's certainly got the accuracy.
Alan, from Celtic's point of view, that was entirely stoppable, though, was it not? And just not by the keeper. I mean, keeper in front of him.
They've had a couple of chances to deal with the danger. You know, maybe the centre half could have done better with the header, dropping it down. You know, Joe Ledley could have done better with helmet on. You know, and maybe, but you're being ultra critical there. Maybe the keeper, but disappointing goal.
Ledley, of course, saved himself from any flack at half-time because he had Celtic level. Yeah,
he did, and it was a great timing into the box for the goal. You know, Celtic had done this just before this. He's got a bit lucky with the deflection on, but that's great timing in the box. And I think that's the one thing that they didn't do after this. You know, they didn't threaten Rangers midfield players getting forward as much. You know, they just seemed to sit in a little bit, and they didn't create as many chances as what I thought they would have done.
What of him more generally as a Celtic midfield player these days, Ledley?
I think he's done better. I think he had a difficult start. He come from England with a reputation of, you know, maybe a few Premier League clubs looking at him at one stage, and he's gone there, and I think he's started to settle in now. I think he's showed, you know, quite a lot of quality in the games that he's played, and you know, it was just he didn't really have probably the impact that he's maybe had in previous games today.
Not a hard luck story, of course, and it's very easy from our position, Stuart. You're a manager yourself, you know, we love to say referee did this wrong, referee did that wrong, but although there were contentious moments in the box, both halves, should we give some measure of credit to Craig Thompson today for trying to help the players give us a spectacle?
Yeah, I think if you look at the one where he's made the decision, again, I mean, we've watched this 3 or 4 times, so it just shows you how difficult it is for a referee. And I still don't know now if that's a penalty kick or not. You know, whether he actually catches, if Papac's left leg catches him here. I think with Wilson, the thing is, when he goes down, if you watch, he doesn't actually get up shouting at the referee. I think this one, my first opinion was definitely penalty kick. And in fairness to the referee, he gives it, and then inside 2 seconds, he realises, holds his hand up, I've made a mistake.
Is it better that than...
I think totally. I think, you know, he's got to be commended for that. And it looks from that angle he gets it right. Again, from a different angle, this one, it looks as though he just catches his kneecap there, but whether that's enough for him to take it down. So I think it's easy to say now credit to the referee because Rangers have won. I think it would have been a big talking point if Rangers hadn't won. But in fairness, it took courage to do that and change his decision.
Not an easy thing to do, is it? And in the case of the decision he made in the second half, could he have got it wrong whichever way, depending on your point of view and the club you support?
Yeah, I think initially when we've seen this, we probably thought penalty. And only when we've seen a couple of angles now to see there. But when you look at the referee's position, he's actually side on. And he can't see that. Now, see, you're talking split seconds there.
And also it's that question of whether it is in fact deliberate handball or not. And
I think
either way you're going to make somebody unhappy, Stuart, aren't you?
Yeah, I think we've looked at it from lots of different angles. From the angle behind, it looks a handball, but from the referees, he couldn't give it. And again, it's just so difficult, referee.
First thing you said to us this afternoon was Jelavic is back, and that gives Rangers an edge up front.
Yeah, and I think also with him getting support to him. I mean, this one is the keeper makes a terrific save. It gets a deflection. It's a really strong arm from Forster here, and does well. But I think all game he was a threat, and I think it's helped him so much either having Naismith at one stage, Lafferty at one stage, and Weiss just playing off him, which takes you. He doesn't have 2v1 in then. And again here, as Lou says, I take the point. You would never have thought if you had to stop that when it hit the post, it'd go back in, and it was a little bit of luck. But I think over the piece, Rangers just about merited the luck and were deserved victors.
And Alan, when we see the contribution that amazing roll of the ball, wasn't it? But the substitutes for Rangers had an impact on it today, did they not?
Yeah.
Compare that to Celtic off the bench today. Yeah,
I'd say, you know, when the sub came on for Rangers, Weiss, we actually thought, you know, a bit of a strange decision to bring him on with a minute before normal time to go. He ends up having the final say on the game, and we just thought probably there was a little bit of indecision with Celtic's substitutions. And on this particular occasion, we can't actually say that the likes of Key, McCourt and Leuven's added to what Celtic had. No, they didn't. I thought Rangers' substitutions had an impact on the game. You know, Weiss has played a great, clever ball between the centre-half and the left-back, who've probably been caught sleeping a little bit. And Jelavic has had the awareness to be in on goal, and to be fair, he's took it really well. I thought he was a threat all day for Rangers. He probably gave them something that they haven't had in the last few weeks. Is Aguirre off at the death? You've all done this.
Yeah, no, I think it's a right decision for the simple fact if Weiss gets onto this, if there's a keeper in, it's not red card, but if he gets to the ball, he's got a free shot into goal, so it has no impact on the game, but it's blocking him getting to the ball, and it is an open goal for him to put it in. So I think it is a red card, but as I say, no impact on the game. And but I think for me the substitutions we talked about, I thought Rangers would struggle when Bagheera went off. But in fairness, I thought Whittaker going from right back had a great block on Hooper minutes before the end, and I thought he was a key player as well. And Stuart, what impact on the remainder of the season now? Yeah, we said before it. I think this will be huge. I think if Rangers had lost today, Celtic would have been on such a march and such a surge. But it pegs it back a bit. Having said that, I remember last season Neil Lennon, lost in the cup, and he had a great, he went on 8 games, consecutive victories. That's what they'll have to do again. But I think it was a big victory for Rangers. You mentioned it, the 8-game factor. The 8-game factor that's going to concern Celtic right now is if Lennon has to serve an 8-game suspension, Alan. How important for Celtic's chances for the remainder of this campaign, with still a double to go for, is it that they do nail this as a 4-gamer, as they're trying to do? Yeah, I think that's important, that they do try and get that decision overhauled. I think you looked at it today and they looked a little bit lost at times, looking up the stands. Do we do it now? Do we do it in a few minutes? And it all had to do a bit of confusion. Celtic have still got the double to go for now. They've got the Scottish Cup, and then they've obviously got the league, and it's all there to play for. The treble's gone, now they've got to focus on the double. It's going to be a tremendous end to the season, though, from here, isn't it? It certainly is, yeah. And as I say, Rangers 2 points behind with a game in hand, and it's all to play for. Really enjoyed your company, both of you. Thank you very much for joining us on Setanta Sports, and good luck to Motherwell, Stuart, for the rest of the season, and to Everton, Alan. Thank you. Tremendous. Thank you both once more. Tomorrow night on Setanta Sports, it's the Setanta Sports Cup tie between Dundalk and Glentoran. 7:30, Setanta Ireland and HD. And just as we leave you for now, just to remind you, more live football tonight from Italy. Again on Setanta Ireland, it's Napoli against Cagliari. Classic Cup final in Scotland, and it went all the way, as it always seems to do, between the old firm sides.
but it turned out, in the end, to be all blue at Hampden.